30 seconds here. Your videos. There we go. That's what I want to be. YouTube keeps updating. Live. Dashboard. Oh, I'm not logged into that, but I think we are live right now on YouTube. There we go. We're live somewhere right now. So we're definitely live on YouTube as the broadcast is starting here on RDS. Apologies for the delayed head start here. I was logged in on StreamYard, but not on YouTube. So if we are live on YouTube, I'll get that straightened out, or I will confirm that and formally introduce the show. There we go. That makes more sense. All right. Here we go. And view live in control room. It's a part I forgot about doing. No. Save. And there we go. Now I believe we are live, or maybe we're live already. But yeah. So Habs versus Flames here. YouTube.com/Langer at the mic and on ColorCast. Yours truly, Mike Langer. That's me. I'll be taking you through this Habs versus Flames game. Again, the Habs are not very good this year. We all know that. They are just out of last place. But you know what? They've been a lot more fun to watch lately under Marty St. Louis. They are 1 point ahead of the Arizona Coyotes for last place, both a game in hand. In the last 10 games, they are 5-5, though, with a one-game losing streak after winning their previous 5 games. 5 games in a row. Longest streak of not only the season, but longest streak also since back in January of last year. So the Habs will definitely look to keep this streak going. But the Flames, they're not too shabby themselves. They're 15-3 in their last 18 games. They're the only other Canadian team currently holding a playoff spot as they sit first in the Pacific Division, 5 points ahead of the Los Angeles Kings with 3 games in hand. So again, not much to play for the Habs. Flames, obviously, this is an important game for them as they are looking to stay atop that Pacific Division. But the Habs, honestly, look, I know we're trying to tank here. Habs are trying to tank. Oh, also, branding. Hello. For the YouTube, I should put the Habs logo over here up front, not behind. But yeah, so all this to say is I still look forward to these opportunities for this young Canadians team to try to put in a good effort and play with a purpose and play with just energy, with something, with life, compared to what we've seen earlier this season where they were completely lifeless under Dominique Ducharme and were on pace for a historically bad season, at least in their history. As we look at the highlights of the Sens game, Andrew Hammond, the Hamburglar, I believe, is starting tonight. So that's the other thing. I didn't get a chance to see the Jets game. I was actually I was doing play-by-play for the University of Toronto Varsity Blues against the York University Lions, a game that the Blues won 3-2 over York, my alma mater. But what was it? Yeah. So the 8-4 game that the Habs won against the Jets, where they were down 4-0, and Samuel Montembeault, who again has been playing really well as of late, despite a very difficult start to the season, he gave up 4 goals on 6 shots at one point in the first period. But he got pulled, but the Habs came all the way back with a hat trick from Josh Anderson. And Arturi Lehkonen, of course, scored in back-to-back games after 2 goals that he scored against Ottawa on Saturday. So, look, this team, like the way they lost 8-4 the Jets. And ultimately, it's better for them to lose. And quite honestly, I'm kind of cheering for them to lose overall. Or I'm not cheering for them to lose. I'm cheering for them to be in last place. Or no, not even. I'm not even cheering for them to be in last place. I'm cheering for them to get the first overall pick. Doesn't matter if they're in last place, second to last place, 5th to last place, 10th to last place, as long as they can win the lottery and get a chance to draft Shane Wright. That is what I'm cheering for at this point in the season. But from here on forward, if they're going to lose, you want them to lose with the Caulfield, Suzuki, Anderson line being the only line that scores. That's first and foremost. And you want them to lose while battling, while being fun to watch, while competing, while hustling, while playing hard, being tough to play against. That's how you want them to lose. And that's essentially what I'm cheering for. Yeah, so we're just about set for puck drop here. And again, I believe it is not Samuel Montempo, is Andrew Hammond, who will be making I think it's going to be his third start as a Montreal Canadian. And he, honestly, the Hamburglar has been impressive. He just needs a set of you know what? I was about to say that he needs a set of Montreal Canadiens gear, but he's been playing so well with his black AHL pads. So, you know what? Maybe he should keep them until further notice. It's the opposite of Carey Price. Carey Price in his red pads, his dark pads, always struggles. Still have to do that little personal project of looking up the splits of Carey Price, going all the way back to 2008-09 of Carey Price in red pads versus Carey Price in white pads. I would be very curious to see the splits on that. But yeah, I'm going to be drinking a lot of water here, guys. Going to be probably taking a washroom break at intermissions, in addition to playing a little bit of cap-friendly armchair GM for next season. So Kent Hughes brought on Kent Hughes. So first of all, sorry, let's back up a little bit. Jeff Gordon brought on Kent Hughes, who he had a connection with. Kent Hughes brought on Marty St. Louis, who he had a connection with. Kent Hughes brought on Vinny Lecavalier as a pro scout, or in the scouting department at least, and he represented Vinny Lecavalier. And so the Canadians right now, first of all, really like I'm so happy about this new direction. I was saying the same thing about Bergevin, and honestly, through thick and thin, I have supported and appreciated Marc Bergevin. Just getting me a sound up here. I appreciated Marc Bergevin for his work as a general manager, but obviously towards the end, that's where I feel like we needed a change. But with Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon and Marty St. Louis, I'm very excited to see what the Habs could do for the rest of this year, and hopefully, where they end up winning the lottery. And I'm excited to see what they do going forward. But guys, it is time for puck drop as we look at Andrew Hammond and Jacob Markstrom. Jacob Markstrom, who the Habs could not beat at all last year for whatever reason. Whenever they played the Flames, they just could not handle the Flames. But interestingly enough, the Habs won their only game against the Calgary Flames this year. So, and one of the few games that they won, that was back in October at the Bell Center. And we are off here between the Habs and the Flames. The faceoff is won by Calgary, and they'll dump it in the zone. And there's Nick Suzuki to chip it up ahead. Cole Caulfield, this line has basically been getting on the score sheet every single game since Marty St. Louis really took over. As we welcome in Uzer Ivanka. A lot of tabs here. There's Suzuki with a shot that is deflected and out of place. So we'll have an early whistle to the left of Jacob Markstrom. And yes, welcome in user Ivanka. Again, just getting a couple of important things open. There we go. Okay, yeah. So face-off will be to the left of Jacob Markstrom, and it is won by Sean Monahan. And chipped ahead to Milan Lucic. Lucic can't quite get to it, though. Petrie's back there to retrieve it. He feeds his lineman there, or his pairing, but Monahan intercepts it, gets it in deep. Kulak into pressure. The shot right on is blocked in front. Recovered by Jake Evans. To Petrie, who loses it. Lucic with a quick shot on net, but Andrew Hammond was ready for it. And the Hamburglar robs Milan Lucic. Maybe not robs him because it was a 5-hole shot, but it was still a quick chance there for Lucic that Andrew Hammond had to be ready for, and he was off a misplay there by Jeff Petrie, which we've seen a lot of earlier this year, but not so much as of late. Go Habs, go indeed. Go Habs, go. But yeah, good first early test there for Andrew Hammond, and he was ready for it. So face off here won by the Habs. Romanov stumbles behind the net as Johnny Gaudreau puts a little pressure on him. At least Romanov is able to get it out to center before being dumped in there by Zadorov. Recovered by the Flames, though. Quick pass in front, and it is not there for Blake Coleman. Now back comes Jake Evans. He'll chip it in and give chase to Rem Pitlick. And the Flames do recover it, and they'll double back and try to break out of their zone here. There's a Nikita Zadorov with a clear in. Romanov tries to get to it. The Flames get to it first. Down in the corner, that is Elias Lindholm, but his pass is to no one. Recovered by Josh Anderson, and here's Ben Sherratt. Ben Sherratt, who is quite clearly on the trade block, at least on Twitter and in the minds of many Habs fans, including myself. Can he get a first? Oops, sorry about COLORCAST. Can he get a first-round pick? We'll see, but I think he could. I don't know if he will. We've seen worse players go for first-round picks, is all I'm saying. So Flames breaking out of their zone, and there's Trevor Lewis on a bit of a rush here. Defended by Wideman. Pass in front, and a shot is stopped by Andrew Hammond. Great save there by Andrew Hammond. I think that was on Michael Stone or Elias Lindholm, who broke in with a nice forehand-backhand attempt there, but Andrew Hammond was right there to make the save. And like I said, Andrew Hammond with the Habs has been really strong thus far this season, and right away, two quick tests for the Hamburglar, and he stood tall. Now see Chris Tanev with a pass that is too far out of the reach of anyone, and it goes the length for icing. Face-off coming up to the right of Jacob Markstrom. I want to see this chance here by the Flames. As again, it was a nice play to the outside there by Trevor Lewis before finding his teammate. It was Brad Richardson, the fourth line of the Flames, who tried going to the backhand, but Andrew Hammond just got his left pad out just in time to kick it out before Brad Richardson could really get around him. Now off the face-off, it's Hoffman with a quick shot rebound, stopped by Markstrom, and the follow-up chance is stopped by Markstrom as well on Laurent Dauphin. So the Habs answer right back with a couple of with a nice little chance of their own after the first two by the Flames there. It was a nice deflection there by Laurent Dauphin and Brandon Gallagher, but Markstrom, who had the Habs number all of last year, was up to the task on that one. So now Laurent Dauphin loses the faceoff to Sean Monahan. Chris Tanev will look for a breakout, but it is kept in momentarily by Hoffman. But now here comes Kylington, and he'll lead the forecheck for the Flames. Here's Lucic behind the net, past the point. The shot gets blocked in front by Sherratt. Rebound, or it's Petrie rather. Petrie to Dauphin, and the Habs will get out to at least center before Tyler Toffoli. Remember, Tyler Toffoli, this is his first game against the Montreal Canadiens. I can't believe I went this long without mentioning that. His first game since the trade back earlier in the month of February. And he, when asked about whether he had plans for with his former teammates who were in Calgary as of last night, he just said that Cole Caulfield will probably buy him dinner. So I wonder. I'm curious to hear what Cole Caulfield has to say, and so we'll see if that actually came to fruition. Now Johnny Gaudreau turns it over. Lehkonen there on the forecheck with Pitlick. Lehkonen to Pitlick, but just out of his reach. That was behind him. Pitlick was well defended there. Kept in at the line by Kulak, and a shot and a save by Markstrom off the deflection there by Rem Pitlick. So another chance there for the Montreal Canadiens. And also, Tyler Toffoli does have 6 goals in his first 10 games with the Canucks, or he had 6 goals in his first 10 with the Canucks. He had 9 in his first 10 games with the Habs, and he has 5 goals in his first 7 games with the Flames. So what are the chances of Tyler Toffoli scoring tonight? I would say pretty good. Face-off is won by the Habs. A big shot from the point there is caught by Jacob Markstrom. And no further chance there. That was a nice Another shot there by Romanov, who has struggled in terms of consistency with getting pucks to the net last year and a little bit of this year as well. But on those last two occasions, he managed to get them to the net. Both of them. Paling wins the faceoff. Armia there in the corner to battle with Pezzetta. Armia loses the battle behind the net to the Flames defenseman, but recovered there by Pezzetta. His shot hits the side of the net. And now out come the Flames. At least they'll try to get out, but Sherratt kept it in momentarily. And now here go the Flames. That's Hanifin, D to D, and up the ice. Hammond out to play it behind his own net. Backlund there to intercept it, and he'll be held at the line by Hanifin. His shot goes a little bit wide there. Backlund in the corner there with his lineman Brett Ritchie to the point. Hanifin and Kylington. But the shot is blocked, and Josh Anderson will get a chance to skate through center, but not much more further than center. Now here's Andrew Mangiapane with a quick shot. Rebound, stopped by Andrew Hammond. The first shot was blocked, and the breakout pass is out of the reach of Cole Caulfield, so back comes Oliver Kylington to start things up for the Flames. And Brett Ritchie, nice. Brett Ritchie lost it momentarily to Wyman, recovered though, and a shot is wide of the net. Now stays in the corner there. There's Brett Ritchie. There's Richardson behind the net. Richardson to the point. A shot gets through. Stopped by Hammond. Rebound is nuts. Recovered by the Flames. But here's the turnover. Richardson in the slot. Richardson waits, shoots just wide of the net. Cleared. Puck goes to the point. Kept in by the Flames. Here's Brett Ritchie battling in the corner against I was distracted by something there. The Habs are able to get the puck out, though. And I think that was Schooneman, Corey Schooneman. He's active tonight. But, getting a little distracted here. But anyway, so Jeff Petrie is there to start the rush for the Habs. And kept in at the blue line, and a shot just wide of the net. That was Hoffman on the shot there. Hoffman can't quite hold the line, so he passes it back to Jeff Petrie. Jeff Petrie, D to D across to Brett Kulak. Kulak's pass is a little bit out of Petrie's reach. And the Habs will manage to get out, though, at least to center. Hoffman can't get it in deep, though. Flames come back the other way. Tanev waits, and he'll flip it in to give chase there to, I believe that's Lindholm. Yeah, Elias Lindholm. And now the Habs are out to center. And it is held back in there by Kylington. Kylington falls, was kind of tripped. Gallagher recovers. Gallagher's shot just wide of the net. And now it's recovered by Pitlick. His shot in front is wide. And Brady Tkachuk is able to get the puck all the way down to the other end of the ice for icing. Sorry, just looking something up here. I also gave myself a tiny little bit of a break here during the whistle. Definitely be chatting it up during the commercial breaks. So now the Flames are out to center. Johnny Gaudreau gets it in deep and off the official. Jake Evans recovers it back there. He skates away from Backlund. Evans out to center. Intercepted, though, there by Goodbranson, who I'm surprised still plays, honestly. But he's still going strong. Mangiapane to Goodbranson. Now it's up the ice there. And out come the Flames on a 3-on-2. Pass to Backlund. Backlund on his backhand. Pun intended. Just goes wide of the net. Andrew Mangiapane. Pass across to Goodbranson to Zadorov. Zadorov's shot gets blocked in front by Petrie. Rebound is corralled by Jake Evans. He almost turned it over there in front of his net, but Romanov was there to support him, and Romanov will tip it out to center. Almost a breakaway pass for Pezzetta, just a little bit out of his reach, though. As Yoel Armia will battle there in the corner with Pezzetta, Zadorov, and a couple other Flames. Puck goes to the line, not out. Petrie, his shot, pass to the net. Pezzetta, saved there by Markstrom, and the rebound is into the corner. As that was a nice shot pass by Jeff Petrie to Michael Pezzetta, Markstrom was ready for that. He made the nice save. Now in comes Backlund with a shot. Hammond wasn't quite ready for that. Gives up a rebound, but no one there for Calgary. Back come the Habs. Here's Josh Anderson. To Kulak, to Anderson. Anderson. Backhand pass in front to Caulfield, but just out of his reach. And back come the Flames. At least to center. Pass ahead to Richardson. Brad Richardson. Tussled there by Kulak. Brett Ritchie tries to support him. Weidman battling there as well, supporting Kulak. Got a 4-man battle in the corner. Suzuki waiting there to wait for that puck to pop right back out. Puck still frozen in the corner there. Not much movement. Finally, Brad Richardson passes in front. A shot. Big save by Hammond. That was a nice save by Andrew Hammond there on Levo. Man, Andrew Hammond has been really good thus far. It's been solid, honestly. Maybe not quite spectacular yet, but he has been definitely solid. So now Sherrod's in the corner. There's Toffoli. Pass to Monahan in front to Kylington, but out of his reach. He can't really handle it. Now Josh Anderson out to center. He'll start a bit of a 3-on-1. He gets taken down. No call. Dauphin with a quick shot. Big save by Markstrom. Pretty easy save as that was right in the sea of his logo. But there was a nice chance off the rush for the Canadians, at least their first off the rush. And we go to the first commercial break. It is 0-0 between the Habs and the Flames. So far we've seen Andrew Hammond making 5 early saves, looking really, really solid for the Montreal Canadiens in his third start with the Habs. This is kind of the grind of doing game out by lonesome, but it's fun though. Again, I don't quite get into Armchair GM. We'll be playing plenty of Armchair GM later, but oh yeah, I want to tweet something. I want to share my Twitter page also. That's what I want to do. Yeah, sorry, just tweeting here. Tweeting here. Burglar. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're back here. So again, looking again, both goalies have been very solid. Even Markstrom, again, that was a great save that he made on Michael Pezzetta there on the deflection. As we see Josh Levo's chance also denied there by Hammond from point blank range. And I honestly he read that one very well and just got the CH in front of the shot and made a really nice save. So Kyle Clegg holds the line there. Gallagher will cycle it there to Ben Sherratt, but Gaudreau is there first. Sherratt gets it back though to Dauphin. Dauphin throws it into the corner behind the net to Brendan Gallagher. Gallagher trying to get away from Kylington. Does so for the moment, but he loses it there to Chris Tanev. But good work there by Laurent Dauphin on the forecheck to hold it on the line momentarily. But about come the Flames finally. Johnny Gaudreau at the blue line. Johnny Gaudreau to the right side, but out of the reach of Matthew Tkachuk. I almost said Brady Tkachuk. Matthew Tkachuk behind the net, drawing 2 Canadiens defenders there. Gets it to the point, but it is out of the reach of defenseman Noah Hannafin, and he'll have to skate all the way back to get it. Hannafin now looking to start things up. Hannafin will just dump it in deep to the corner behind the net. Backlund there on it first. He's supported by Mangiapane. Mangiapane to the point. Kept in by Anderson there. And now here's Backlund down low, but just out of his reach there. As it was a Nice pass by Blake Coleman to him. And they score. There's Blake Coleman opens the scoring for the Calgary Flames. And it's 1-0. Andrew Hammond, again, just was not quite able to corral that one. Flames strike early with a 1, or strike midway through the first, I should say, to make it 1-0. The combination of Blake Coleman, who stung the Habs a couple of times in the playoffs last year in the final, he gets on the board here. So it was a great job on the cycle there. Left it for Mangiapane right in front of Blake Coleman. He was left wide open. That was Jake Evans, Romanov. Someone miscommunicated and allowed him to get wide open in front. So that's what allows the Flames to draw first blood, or strike first. I don't like saying draw first blood. It's a little graphic at times, but they strike first, and it's 1-0 Calgary. Now shot by Brett Kulak just goes out of play. And they'll take things back in the neutral zone. And probably another commercial break coming up. But yeah, so honestly, those are those types of situations where Jake Evans has been solid. He's been solid, but you kind of want to see Jake Evans and Romanov eventually clean up those errors in coverage, ideally. And maybe some of that has to do with Romanov being on his off wing sometimes with Ben Sherratt, and that could be another possible case to trade Ben Sherratt and allow Romanov to play on the left side, although I think they interchange the left and right side between the two of them. But yeah, it's that I definitely want to see Romanov and Jake Evans. I mean, they're not going to be perfect, but at least you'd like to see them kind of clear up those mistakes. And Philip de L says, are doing a better job than I could ever do. Do recommend you lower your camera bits at the bottom of your face. Gotcha. Okay. Maybe what I could also do, you know what? How about this? I'm trying, I usually have the ticker there at the bottom, but what I could do is I can do this and something like this. There we go. And there we go. How's that? Oh, I have to edit it also because it's 1-0 Flames. There we go. The first period. I'll roll it right there. Here we go. All right. But thank you there, Philip de L. And we are back here from the commercial. And also, of course, guys, we're both here once again live on YouTube and on ColorCast. And to those tuning in on YouTube, remember, we're going to play a little game of Armchair GM at the intermission and try to rebuild to see if we can retool the Montreal Canadiens for next season. And yeah, just we're looking at the first goal again there. Habs on the faceoff, though. Here's Suzuki to Josh Anderson. And Romanov also tweeted that Andrew Hammond had a good start so far to the game, and obviously he gives up, that early goal. Maybe I must have jinxed him. So, oh well, what can you do? Wasn't really his fault though, because again, that was a loss and a blown coverage between Jake Evans and Romanov and Ben Sherratt. So, like again, just so much nowadays. It's all about the five guys on the ice. As Josh Anderson tries to dipsy doodle his way past Nikita Zadorov, but Zadorov stands him up and passes it D to D, and now out to center. Here's Milan Lucic down the left wing. Lucic delays, passes in front. No one there to tap that in for the Flames. And now the puck is cleared crosswise to Armia, but he can't quite get there in time. Back out to center. And now here's Armia to Paling. Paling with a shot. Just goes wide to the blocker side of Jacob Markstrom, but that was a good scoring chance there for Paling. He just missed it, though. Now Lucic tries to get it out. Petrie holds the line. Petrie now with a shot right on, but Jacob Markstrom corrals that pretty easily. A lot of the Habs shots thus far have found the big flamed C on Jacob Markstrom's chest, so he covers that one up for another whistle. And yeah, just looking at the stats of the Flames right now, they're 11 straight wins at home with a goal differential of, let's do some quick math here, 38 plus 38. Yeah, plus 38. So pretty impressive stuff for the Flames at home. But interestingly enough, again, the Habs beat the Flames earlier this season, so maybe they could pull off the same magic right here. We'll see. But they're down 1-0 against 7.5 to go in the first period. It's the Lehkonen line on the ice. He battles behind the net to Evans. Sherratt kept it in at the moment, but Chris Tanev able to recover it and get it back out to center. But kept in there by the Habs. Back to Tanev, to Mangiapane. And Habs are offside, so they have to clear. So here's Kylington across to Tanev. Tanev through the center, but Gallagher's there to break it up. And here's Cale Clegg stepping up, and he'll just rim it down behind the net. Laurent Dauphin covers on his backhand, gets pushed by Mangiapane. And the Flames will break out of their zone. And it'll just be cleared in easily there by Rasmus Andersson. And Petrie with a giveaway, almost really costly. Dauphin gets it right back, and now he streaks in with Gallagher. Penalty coming up to Calgary. It's a hooking call. I didn't quite see what it was. Let's see the replay here. Habs will get a power play out of this regardless. So it's Matthew Tkachuk. Again, I didn't quite see where the penalty happened. Going to check it out. Let's see. So Habs are the worst power play in the league. A lot of that has to do with earlier in the season. I missed the replay, actually, as it turns out. Anderson in the slot. Sets it up to Caulfield. Caulfield loses it, but Paling's there to recover it. Rims it around to Suzuki. Suzuki right back to Ryan Paling. Paling loses it, though, to behind the net, but Caulfield intercepts the breakout attempt there. Chris Weidman holds it at the line to Suzuki. Nick Suzuki delays, shoots it off the side of the net, gets it right back, passes across, but Tanev lost the battle to Cole Caulfield. Suzuki now behind the net. And Suzuki right back up to the point to Weidman across to Caulfield. Caulfield to Weidman to Suzuki walking in. Suzuki shoots it. Big save, Markstrom rebound. Puck is loose. And no Hab is able to put that puck in the net but Chris Weidman holds it at the line to keep the shift going. Now here's Suzuki again. Drops it off for Weidman to Caulfield. Can't get the one-timer. He'll pass it right through to Suzuki to Weidman. Suzuki walks in. And a shot right on. Stopped by Markstrom. Rebound is loose. Suzuki gets it right back. And his pass goes high in the air before coming right back to Josh Anderson. Now Dennis Weidman, nice. Chris Weidman at the point. Will give and go there with Suzuki. Gets it back to Caulfield. Caulfield's shot gets stopped by Markstrom. Great shift by this first wave on the power play. Getting some decent chances, but great possession time. Now Suzuki across the Caulfield. His shot gets stopped by Jacob Markstrom. He'll finally cover it up for the whistle. And we have another penalty coming up to the Calgary Flames. The Habs will get 30 seconds of 5-on-3 time here. Fortunately, the Habs are leading in most categories. Well, here's the thing, though. Under Marty St. Louis, those categories don't... The fact that the Habs are the worst of in many categories, they don't really apply as much at this point in the season, I would say. So again, it's a 5-on-3 right now for little around 30 seconds. 5 minutes to go here in the first period. The faceoff will be Nick Suzuki, who has been on for pretty much the entire shift. He wins it. Back to Caulfield. I think that's Kulak with him. Or no, that's Hoffman. Pass across. Shot. Big save by Markstrom as he stops Rem Pitlick on the dead angle. He just got his shoulder into the post to take away that near side post. Rem Pitlick just could not quite lift it enough over Markstrom's 6'6" tall frame there. Nice save by Markstrom. What a pass, though, from who was that back there? Suzuki. Suzuki's just a demon at passing the puck sometimes, which is why he should never, ever, ever play on a line that doesn't have Cole Caulfield on it. So here's Caulfield, Suzuki, and again, he's winning faceoffs today, man. Caulfield across to Hoffman. Hoffman shoots it. Doesn't quite get through. Goes off Rasmus Andersson. Suzuki. The point to Caulfield and Gallagher, but none of them were really ready for that one. It was a case of you take it, no, you take it, comes all the way back to center. Right back up, though, here's Hoffman. And he flips into the cross corner there. First penalty is over to Matthew Tkachuk. Habs still have a power play for a minute 20. Here's a shot. Deflects just wide into the corner. And another puck just rolls to Jacob Markstrom. This time he will just cover it up and take a whistle. Just again, very honestly, even though the Habs have not scored, I mean, they still have another minute 15 to go on the power play here. Even though they didn't score, again, just really, really, really impressive looks with that power play. Because even if you don't score, I mean, ultimately you want to score on the power play, but still, just the fact that they were able to maintain possession in the Flames zone for so long. And here's another faceoff when they'll go to work. It was just something we are not really used to over the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And I think again, a lot of that has to do with the influence of Marty St. Louis and allowing players to just use their skill and putting Cole Caulfield in an area where he can unleash that one timer, which for some reason he wasn't allowed to do all of this earlier this season and last year. I wonder how much, and I wonder how much of that Jeff Petrie not passing to Caulfield had to do with Dominique Ducharme's influence or just the structure of absolutely having to get pucks to the net from wherever instead of trying to set up a great play with skill and not just brainlessly throwing the puck at the net from wherever. The goalie's chest for no rebound as the Flames clear this one. The second wave not as threatening as the first one. 35 seconds to go here on the man advantage. Mike Hoffman will lead the rush through center. Hoffman, nice little move there. Loses it, though. Evans recovers it momentarily. Kept in at the line by Hoffman and then by Cale Clegg. Here's Pitlick across to Weidman. Weidman's shot just gets blocked. Clearing attempt by the Flames, not out. Good job there by Evans. Anderson's shot stopped there by Jacob Markstrom, who is, again, just doing a great job at getting that Flames logo on his jersey in front of the puck. He covers it up for another whistle. And that's what Jake Evans is so good at, honestly. Jake Evans on the forecheck and just tactically and both from a tactical standpoint and physical standpoint in terms of being able to use his to hit guys off pucks, but also just smartly using his stick to poke pucks away. Now Kulak to Caulfield in front to Suzuki out of his reach, though. Recovered there at the top by Petrie. Petrie down low. And a shot stopped there by Markstrom, and Tanev is right back in there. As you see, Josh Anderson got tripped by Jacob Markstrom in front of the net. But even though the Habs didn't score on those power plays, a very nice confidence building opportunity there. And Petrie's shot just sails wide of the right on Markstrom's blocker side. But yeah, just those are two very inspiring power plays, even though they didn't result in goals. And we have another penalty coming up. This one, it might be on the Canadians. We see Tyler Toffoli went down there. Yeah, it's going to be a Canadians penalty here this time. So it was Brett Kulak probably interfering with his former teammate Tyler Toffoli there. So the Flames will get a power play here, and the Canadians will have to kill this one off to try to avoid falling in a 2-0 hole. Getting some questions on Twitter. Some questions on Twitter here. Just going to address them. And getting back to our questions on Twitter here. Yeah, there's something else I want to tweet just about the power play. Some questions in terms of being. So again, we're live on Twitter. We're live on YouTube. Sorry, we're live on YouTube and we're live on ColorCast. But just trying to see if maybe one day there'll be a way to go live on Twitter, just like I did in the intermissions last year. But yeah, just or at least it's not linked to a StreamYard anymore, so I'd have to look into a different streaming server for that. Yeah, I just wanted to tweet something out real quick. There we go. Have to let the world know that those are two. That those were really impressive or inspiring power plays. All right, we are back. Big save there by Andrew Hammond on Gaudreau. Rebound is loose in the crease, but Andrew Hammond is able to get enough on top of it. He never really had it, but he was on top of it enough to draw a whistle and a face-off. So again, just want to see the replay here. Was the puck loose, or did the puck even go in? Maybe is that what they're looking at right now? Let's see. So the first shot. So Hammond made a great save on Gaudreau. I don't think the puck really ever crossed the line. Yeah, no goal. It was pretty clear. Although I think players will sometimes try to trick refs into thinking that pucks went in. Like right here, it just hit the post, and Hammond kept that left pad stacked on the post there to prevent any further chance there for the Flames. So Flames, they'll set up. There's Gaudreau to Lindholm. Lindholm down low in the corner. Back up top to Gaudreau to Lindholm down low. And Toffoli shot. Big save by Andrew Hammond. Tyler Toffoli had a great chance there to score against his former team, but Andrew Hammond made a terrific save. Flames maintain the possession on the power play. Pass in front to Lindholm. Gets deflected. Toffoli recovers it. Pass it behind the net to Matthew Tkachuk. Gaudreau to Tkachuk to Gaudreau. Here's Gaudreau. Across to Toffoli. Toffoli back up top to Rasmus Anderson. To Toffoli. Toffoli waits to Anderson. To Toffoli. Toffoli shot. Nice save by Andrew Hammond. Gobbling it up with his chest. Got some slashing going on between Matthew Tkachuk and Romanov after the whistle. But Andrew Hammond read Toffoli all the way, and he made a nice, impressive save with his chest. That was a great wow. That was a phenomenal save by Andrew Hammond on Toffoli there. Just dove across with that blocker. I just find he's locked in. Like, really, Andrew Hammond has a quick shot off the face-off there by Kylington. Another save there by Andrew Hammond. Shots are 14-8 in favor of Calgary. And now behind the net, good forecheck there. I think that's Evans. Or Suzuki, rather. Now Flames look to get things reset in the Canadian zone. Pass up top to Kylington. Kylington gets it back. Drops it off to Monahan. His pass gets deflected by Petrie. And now here comes a 3-on-1 with Kulak out of the box. There's a shot stopped by Markstrom. Rebound. Suzuki can't get to it in time. And now Petrie scores! Jeff Petrie ties it up for the Montreal Canadiens after the second try wouldn't go. But Petrie, third time's the charm. We have a tie game here in Calgary. So there's Lehkonen. Just took advantage of a falling Monahan or Lindholm, rather. And then he led the rush. And then again, tic-tac-toe, Lehkonen to Suzuki on the rebound. Markstrom made some great first and second saves. But Andrew Mangiapane wasn't able to back check fast enough, or he just got lost in kind of playing a role as a defenseman, which sometimes when you have forwards back checking, they can only do so much since they aren't used to playing defense as much. They're used to playing defensively as a forward, but not as much defensively as a defenseman. So sometimes they could get caught like Andrew Mangiapane did there, just half blocking the pass, half trying to clear the net, but not really doing any of them that effectively. And that's a late first period goal to tie this one up as the clock winds down under 2 seconds. That is the end of the first period. It is 1-1 between the Montreal Canadiens and the Calgary Flames. And we go to the first intermission, but we're going to continue here on ColorCast and on YouTube. Let's play a little game of Cap Friendly, or Armchair GM, courtesy of Cap Friendly. Again, shots were 16-9 in that period. Blake Coleman opened the scoring, and Jeff Petrie, again, moments ago, just tied it up. But here we go. We're going to play a little bit of Cap Friendly action here. Share the screen on YouTube over here. So there we go. Okay. Interactive. So I'll try to narrate exactly what I'm doing here on ColorCast as well. And obviously, thanks to those tuning in both on ColorCast and on YouTube. Let's play a little Armchair GM here. This is a roster I want to see. There's already a roster called Wild Blockbuster. So a guy, Le Fichot Show 24, made some trades with the Arizona Coyotes and the Minnesota Wild. It's a Habs roster with a blockbuster at the Habs. Let's see what this guy did. Okay, so he traded the Habs first round pick from this year for next year's first round pick, which could be a bold move for sure. Although, I guess if it's a top 10 protected, then that makes sense because the Habs did trade their own first round pick to Carolina, but it is top 10 protected. And then they go Kevin Fiala, Victor Rask, and Cam Talbot, for Jonathan Drouin, Christian Dvorak, Jake Allen, a 3rd and 7th round pick. I don't know how much that really benefits Minnesota, though. Like, this is kind of just usually when you do a blockbuster trade, like one team in this case is trying to really get a star player and give up a bunch of prospects. But here you see multiple roster players, just an exchange of roster players, which you don't often see, like a large exchange of roster players, which again, you don't always see in these blockbuster trades. So let's do this for the Habs here now. Let's assume the same salary cap going into next year because this is a flat cap league right now. Just checking Twitter there. Sharing Twitter. Okay. Okay, so first of all, so what I was getting at off the top was that Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon, which I didn't get a chance to finish this thought because the game was already getting started, but they are basically building the Habs front office and possibly their roster based on people and players that they know, that they have personal or professional connections and affiliations with. Again, Vinny Lecavalier employed because Kent Hughes represented him. Kent Hughes has a connection with Marty St. Louis, Vinny Lecavalier, who I already mentioned. Jeff Gordon worked, I think, with Jeff. I forget what the connection was between Jeff Gordon and Kent Hughes, but either way, again, there are it just feels like they're bringing in people and players that they know, which is why who else did Kent Hughes represent? Chris Letang and Patrice Bergeron. So Chris Letang is, I think, more realistic than Patrice Bergeron. But we're gonna do two versions here, or three versions of our rebuild over here that we're gonna try to get through in this first intermission. Oh yeah, here I have to update the score also. I have to do that. Habs 1, first intermission. There we go. Save. No, I didn't spell intermission right. That's not good. Ooh. Intermission. There we go. And there you go. Beauty. Okay. So. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Oh, I might have screwed this up because I might be doing this year and not next year. So let's play for next year. Little Habs GM action for next year. All right. So first of all, who do they keep? Well, UFAs. Carl Alsner's contract finally expires, which is nice. Okay. Ben Sherratt, he gone. Laurent Dauphin is a maybe, but I wouldn't be anxious to re-sign him just yet. Brett Kulak could get traded. I'm not going to be doing trades, by the way. This is just based on free agency. This is also based on the report of Pierre LeBrun last week saying that the Habs would be very aggressive in free agency. So that's why we're playing a little bit of free agency here. And also, I'm assuming that the Montreal Canadiens would draft Shane Wright. Or I'm pretending. I shouldn't assume. I'm pretending that the Canadiens will get a chance at the first overall pick and an opportunity to draft Shane Wright just to make this exercise a little more fun. So, Matthew Perreault, he gone, I would say. So not many UFAs that I would love to bring back or that I would be desperate to bring back. What about RFAs? I think it's Montembeault, Lehkonen, Brook. That's going to be interesting. These prospects haven't played NHL games. They're up for Rem Pitlick. I like. So I'm not going to sign Montembeault just yet. And by the way, players that I'm trading, I'm not going to actually trade. I'm going to, if I want to trade them for just like whatever draft pick, then I would put them on the non-roster position. So just let's get to it. Over here. So I would start by, if Lehkonen doesn't get traded, I think he'll come back at 2.4 for 1 year. So we'll start with that. Get Lehkonen in there. Get Lecky. Stay there because I know that all three of the coaches that he has played for as a Montreal Canadian, or four maybe. Michel Therrien. What was he? Was Michel Therrien fired when Lehkonen was there? I'll have to look that up later. But either way, every coach that Lehkonen has played for has really loved him, and he's a great penalty killer. And he made the heads up play in the Habs defensive zone to start the rush that led to the Petrie goal. So, okay, so Lehkonen, I'm keeping. Montembeault, I'll get back to. Sami Niku, unlikely. Pezzetta, maybe. We'll get back to that. He could probably be kept on the cheap. I would say Rem Pitlick. Yeah, let's go. Romanov. I think Romanov at around the same, maybe 225 is fair. So let's say 225. I think that's what I had him at the last time I did this exercise. So 2 years, 225. So we'll get him there. Rem Pitlick. I think Rem Pitlick could be had if Jake Evans could sign a 1.6. You know what? Give him the right around what Jake Evans went for this past offseason. So let's say 2, maybe even 2 years, 1.6 to Rem Pitlick, who's been impressive. Also, obviously, you could just not keep him if you decide not to. But he's a good little player, and if the Habs, who have his rights as a RFA, can get him under contract for cheap, then sign him. Okay, so I'm also going to create. Where am I have to create a player. Where's that option? It's around here somewhere. There we are. All right. Let's say Shane Wright. Shane Wright or Logan Cooley. The cap hit will be around that on an entry level deal, 925. Say right-handed position center. There we go. Okay. So this $2.4 million of cap space that the Habs have at this time. Weber is already on long-term injured reserve. Is Drouin going to be part of the plan going forward? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Jake Allen. Jake Allen. Does Jake Allen stay or go? I'm not sure. I'll have to get back to that. So you know what? In this exercise, let's say the Habs managed to trade Christian Dvorak. And again, just putting guys that I trade on LTIR. Let's say the Habs managed to trade Jonathan Drouin. Yeah, we'll trade Drouin. Drouin has had good moments this year. And again, very happy the way he came back from that whole mental health absence, and just glad that he got his stuff together mentally, but now he is injured physically. So, and he's been injured physically quite often over the course of the last couple of years. So if they could unload him again 1 year at 5.5, that's a bit of an expensive 5.5. If they trade him, they might have to retain some, but yeah, I would see if they could trade Dvorak, Drouin, and Weber. Dvorak, especially at 4.45, became a little more expensive than we thought he would be. Although, to be fair, Christian Dvorak, we should see what he can do under Marty St. Louis, because we have not seen that yet. So, I just checking to see where we're at in the intermission. Should actually put the sound up there, maybe just a little bit at least, so I can kind of hear it. Okay. All right. So now $12.3 million of cap space. So let's play the old sign UFA. Let's say with Bergeron. Let's have some fun. Patrice Bergeron. And we're doing this the crazy way, the less crazy way, and a more, realistic way, I guess. So it's Bergeron. Patrice Bergeron. What's he at right now? He's at 6.85. So you know what? I would say for about 7, you have to overpay him a little bit. I know he's 36 years old. Let's say a 2-year 7.5. Maybe even 7.5. Why not? It's Patrice friggin' Bergeron, right? So let's say 2 years, 7.5 per season. Maybe even a raise. Let's say 8, just to be absolute. Yeah, 7.5. 7.5. We'll go to 7.5 for, let's say, 2 years. And again, this is the crazy version. We'll do the more realistic version later. You know what? I'm going to trade Jake Allen. Because I think so we welcome in Zach Cantrell, playing a little bit of armchair GM here. Zach Cantrell, before the game gets back on, playing Habs armchair GM. So basically, but what are we looking at? Okay, so now that would be $7.7 million of cap space with Jake Allen if Jake Allen gets traded, because he could definitely get traded. Obviously, it could also be the same mistake of not adding proper goaltending depth behind Carey Price. But let's see, let's say Hammond or Montembeault. Let's say Hammond, because he is playing really well right now. He'd be a UFA. Hammond. let's say at 1.5 for 2. $6 million of cap space. Okay. So now we bring in Monsieur Chris Letang over here. Chris Letang, there we go. 5 point. What is he at now? 7.2. Yeah, he's probably not going to get 7.2. Let's say 6. And I'm overspending considerably, overspending on these guys. Letang, 34 years old. I'd say about a 2-year deal at 6 is fair, or a 3-year deal at 5.5. So as you can see now, the Habs would be very tight against the cap in this case. They'd basically be spending to the cap, but we have the ingredients. Now let's bake our lines over here. And again, I know you can't really see this on ColorCast, but right now what I have is, I'll tell you the lines in a second. You can see them on YouTube. And I'll read them over them on for our ColorCast listeners here. But okay, so we got Suzuki, Anderson, and Caulfield. That's your first line, of course. Caulfield on the left wing. Make sure just guys are on the right side. I would say Bergeron, Hoffman, and Gallagher would be a second line. Pretty decent second line. A little good balance there. A third line of Shane. Okay, well, here's the issue, though. Here's the issue you run into is, do you want Shane Wright? You don't want to make in this case, you don't want Shane Wright centering the third line with guys that aren't as skilled. So you know what? I'm going to put Hoffman with Wright and Lehkonen with Patrice Bergeron and Gallagher. So this is a pretty interesting lineup on forward. And now on D, I'll read it through in a second here on the ColorCast. Don't worry. On defense, you would be lacking. This is also Paul Byron on injured reserve. So you know what? I'm going to trade you all Armia. Save some cap there. And put Paul Byron in the lineup. And that would be 3.6 to sign another defenseman. We got Romanov. We got Edmondson, Petrie. And that's where I don't want to trade Jeff Petrie. Letang, Romanov. And then Caden Gooley. Hello. Bring up Caden Gooley. I think he would be again 3 years since getting drafted. I think that would be a good time for Caden Gooley to start his career. Now, Habs would still have $2.7 million of cap space in this case. So before we start the second period, which is about to begin, let's get through these lines here. So first line in this case is Suzuki, Caulfield, Anderson. And again, this is crazy version of going after Bergeron and Chris Letang. You got Suzuki, Anderson, Cole Caulfield. That's your first line. Second line, Patrice Bergeron, Lehkonen, Brendan Gallagher. That's going to be maybe not an offensive, an overabundant line offensively, but plenty of two-way ability in that for sure. Then you'll have Shane Wright, Jake Evans, and Mike Hoffman. You can even elevate Paul Byron to that. You got Shane Wright, Paul Byron, and Mike Hoffman, which is a good mix of two-way responsibility in Byron plus offensive skill in Mike Hoffman and Shane Wright. And then Paling, Evans, and Rem Pitlick to round things out. A nice little cheap but effective fourth line there. And now on D, you'd have Edmondson and Jeff Petrie, Chris Letang and Romanov, and Caden Gooley with David Savard. And then in goal, you'd have Carey Price and Andrew Hammond. So that might not challenge Florida or Tampa with the way they're playing right now, but it could challenge Toronto. Maybe not Matthews, Marner, Nylander, blah, 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 in terms of skill, but they could hang with Toronto. They could probably be better than Boston at this time next year, depending what Boston does in free agency. A lot of free agents like to go to Boston, the Bruins. So with Marty St. Louis, if they play the way they've been playing under Marty St. Louis and with this type of roster, pretty good. I'd say it could be pretty good. Now that's the unrealistic version of it, of course. Let's go back. We're on Twitter now. Let's go back to the Gamecast. I'll stop the screen share here on YouTube. There we go. And we'll get ready to start the second period. I'll change the little ticker that we have here. Second intermission. Go. Show it. Oh, nope. Second period, not second intermission. There we go. Slide it in there. All right. To get some water at a commercial break also. So don't mind me if I do that. But yeah, we're just about to start the second period here in Calgary between the Habs and the Calgary Flames. Once again, it was Jeff Petrie who scored the late goal to tie things up. The Habs weren't able to score on 2 power plays. That they were able to get some pretty solid offensive pressure on. So that was fun, even though they didn't score. And on the Calgary side, it was Blake Coleman who scored the first goal. So that's what gave them the lead midway through off a little bit of a defensive breakdown. The Habs, and we're off here in the second period. Face-off is won back to the Calgary zone. There's Rasmus Andersson rimming it off the glass. Held in at the line momentarily by Suzuki. Coleman high sticks it. No whistle, though. Guess he missed it. Rasmus Andersson to Noah Hannafin and not out. Ben Sherratt pinches. There is a pass in front and just gets away from Markstrom there, but goes wide. Now, Romanov's shot almost deflected by Josh Anderson, but it goes wide. And now a shot. Ooh, that is not good. Ben Sherratt gets the puck right in his face, and he is bleeding. He is getting up under his own power, so he is okay, but he's going to need a dentist appointment, that's for sure. Hey, I know a dentist. My own dad. Number 1 dad on our cast. On ColorCast. But, yeah, just you hate to see that, though, for Ben Sherratt, of course, who just puck deflected off the boards, off the glass, and boom, right in the schnoz. So just luckily it's nothing worse. Luckily it wasn't like the Josh Anderson hit or shot to the head that he took against Buffalo last week. So good to see Ben Sherratt at least still on the bench and just probably going to get a little stitched up there, and he'll hopefully be good to go. I see Laurent Dauphin about to take the face off here in the neutral zone. Against Trevor Lewis and Brett Ritchie and Brad Richardson. It is won by Lewis. And in on the forecheck is Levo. He falls. Petrie gets it behind the Habs net. He starts to break out, passes it too far, and that goes all the way for an icing. And another face-off coming up all the way down in the Habs zone. And that is an interesting stat. So Jeff Petrie is now tied for second place for the most goals in Habs defenseman history. Chris Chelios still leads the way with 72, but Jeff Petrie scores 4 more goals. He would tie Chris Chelios at 72 for the most goals by a Canadiens defenseman of all time. So now Hoffman chips it in on goal. It's deflected off a stick and goes in on Jacob Markstrom. Habs keep the pressure in the Flames zone at the moment, but there's Nikita Zadorov who can't quite get past Dauphin. Now he does. And out to center is Tkachuk, but he gets turned back the other way. Stepping up is Nikita Zadorov. He forces it ahead to Gaudreau. Gaudreau gets it back from Tkachuk. He'll rim it around to Lindholm. Lindholm down low to Gaudreau to Tkachuk, but Dauphin good position to intercept that. And back he goes the other way into center, and he'll just dump it in behind the net. Markstrom can't quite stop it. Rem Pitlick applies the forecheck. Dauphin behind the net, loses it though. And Lindholm doing a good job supporting there by the Flames. Tanev goes across to his D partner. And finally gets tossed ahead, but turned over. Here's Evans going back the other way to Pitlick. Pitlick to Evans. Evans with a toe drag shot. Bounces its way to Markstrom, as was deflected. And now here at the point, there's Petrie to Evans to Pitlick. Pitlick to Clegg, but Toffoli jumped to intercept that. Now here comes Lucic. Lucic fans on the shot. Weidman gets it back. Tries feeding Evans, but gets it right back. Weidman will have to flip it out to center. Knocked down there by Rasmus Andersson. He goes D to D. And up. Here's Sean Monahan. Monahan delays, passes in front, passes behind Milan Lucic, though. And back the other way comes Michael Pezzetta. Pezzetta to Romanov. Romanov protects the puck, tries to pass in front, but goes off a skate. Taken by Rasmus Andersson. Now here's Andrew Mangiapane, gets knocked down by Brett Kulak. And now Michael Pezzetta the other way to Joel Armia. Armia tries to fend off Rasmus Andersson, or Goodbranson rather. Puck goes to the point. Here's Kulak. Kulak with a shot that gets deflected and out of play off of a Calgary stick. And we'll have a whistle to the right of Jacob Markstrom. Take a little sip of water here. Let's check our Twitter stuff. Yeah, don't mind me for taking a little talking break every so often. Now we'll have a face-off won by Suzuki, but right on it right away is Andrew Mangiapane. Gets it in the Habs zone. Sherratt gets to it first, though. Rims it around to Suzuki, but out of his reach. Here's Backlund in front of Mangiapane. And a shot by Coleman goes wide. Zadorov at the blue line to Goodbranson. Goodbranson shot right on to Andrew Hammond, who catches it with his crest on his jersey right in the chest, and he'll force a whistle. So nice save there by Andrew Hammond. Ben Sherratt has 5 goals this year, which is cool because he isn't really good offensively. It was, or at least last year. I think last year he had like 1 or 2 goals, barely. The year before he had an interesting amount of goals also. So, but he's, he should be traded though. The Habs should try to get whatever they can for him at the deadline for sure. Quick up there, Gallagher feeds Dauphin, but out of his reach. Flames will go back the other way. Here's Elias Lindholm rimming it into the Habs zone. Out of the reach of Sherratt. Now behind the net here is, couldn't see who that was. I think that was Tkachuk. Yeah, it was Matthew Tkachuk. And he tried feeding Lindholm, but it was intercepted by the Canadians. Out to center, turned over. Now here's Johnny Gaudreau. Gaudreau delays. Passes in front, but good back check there by Gallagher to tie up Lindholm. Another shot goes just wide. Gaudreau takes it along the half wall. Gaudreau dumps it back behind the net to Tkachuk. To Lindholm. Lindholm to the point. To Hannafin. Hannafin just flips it right back in. To Gaudreau. Rasmus Andersson jumps into pinch. Andersson to no one, as Dauphin was in good position there to intercept that. And Romanov skates it to center and will go for a change. And here's Noah Hannafin behind the Flames net. Hannafin to Andersson. And now through center, here is Josh Levo. Levo looking for Brett Ritchie, but it goes back the other way. Now here comes Cole Caulfield with a little bit of speed, but he gets pushed off by Eric Goodbranson, who was just in slightly better position than Caulfield was to basically turn that the other way. Now a shot there by a Flames forward goes wide. Flames looking to set up in the Habs zone. And now here comes Caulfield. Caulfield to Weidman. Tried leaving it for Andersson, but goes back the other way. And a pass just out of the reach of Brad Richardson, I think. And it goes all the way for icing. So a face-off coming in the Calgary zone. Elias Lindholm has really had a good season so far for the Flames. Really solidifying himself as the number 1 center, even almost over Monahan to some extent. They've been a good 1-2 punch for Calgary this year, and that's why they are one of the best teams in the Western Conference and leading the Pacific Division. So we'll have Jake Evans to take the draw in front of Brad Richardson. It is won back by Richardson. Goodbranson on it quickly. Kulak on it quicker, though, to pinch and hold the line momentarily before Matthew Tkachuk, I think, is able to get in, but is kept in. Here's Evans to Pitlick. Pitlick had to delay a little bit. He couldn't quite get the shot off. Zadorov is able to knock him into the corner. Rimmed around to Richie. Now out to center. Here is Brad Richardson. We see Evans going to the Habs locker room. That does not look good. Now here's Jeff Petrie rather behind the net. Jeff Petrie will wait for an opening. Jeff Petrie, the goal scorer for the Canadiens. He goes to Pitlick to center, and Pitlick just can't quite get that pass. It goes all the way to Tanev. Chris Tanev passes it up to Monahan. Monahan to the other side to Lucic. Lucic pass in front, but no one home for Calgary. Lindholm loses it to Pitlick, who'll just throw it all the way to the Calgary zone to go for a change. Here's Tanev. Now Tanev throwing it up the ice. Kulak right there. Skates it back to center, but Lindholm intercepts. Pizzetta intercepts, but Paling and Armia were in the Habs zone, so it goes for offside. So where are we? We're around 14 minutes left in the second period here. So little bit of a tight game being played here. A little bit of low-end hockey on a late Thursday night. Get about 14 minutes or 13, just over 13 and a half to go here in the second period. I keep losing my tabs here. Let's pull this up. Yeah, there we go. But honestly, again, just look, the fact that the Habs, if this were any game earlier in the season, the Habs would be, losing 3-0. So the fact that they're tied at 1 against the top team in the Pacific in their home arena, as we see what happened to Evans there, just got a little shaken up there. It's actually, I want to get another look at it. I want to hide the chat. Yeah, I don't want to fall too far behind here. And again, don't want to fall too far behind. So we are back. It's Gallagher on the right wing. Gallagher to Hoffman, but Tanev intercepts it. And we have a penalty coming up to Hoffman as he slashed Tanev. It's a little bit of a weak slash, in my opinion, but those are getting called a lot more in hockey lately. Tanev will skate through center, passes it to Backlund, but Dauphin intercepts it, and Mike Hoffman, the guilty one for slashing. That's an offensive zone penalty, which you never want to take, no matter what, unless it's to break up a breakaway, in which case it would probably be a penalty shot. But Hoffman is guilty of a slash on Tanev, which, again, is a little ticky-tacky in my opinion. I know that's they're trying to ease down on these slashing penalties and whatnot, but in my opinion, it's a little bit weak. Either way, though, almost spilled my water there. Thankfully, I have it shut. Flames win the ensuing faceoff, but a little bit by too much as it goes all the way back down to Jacob Markstrom. We'll have to reset here. So Rasmus Andersson will drop it right back to Lindholm. Lindholm in the corner. Passes it across. Here's to Foley now. At the top to Andersson. Andersson tries to get away from Suzuki. Protects the puck. Drops it to Tkachuk. Now here's Tkachuk to the point to Andersson. Andersson waits to Gaudreau. Johnny Gaudreau waits. Drops it off to Tkachuk. It's lost here. Now here comes Suzuki with perhaps a little bit of speed on Andersson. Suzuki with a long shot goes just wide of the net. And right back to Toffoli. Suzuki perhaps a little tired. He'll have to get back into position quick here. Toffoli will rim it back as Suzuki gets back as well. Tkachuk to Lindholm. Lindholm can't quite dive and keep it in. Now here's Pitlick, perhaps with a bit of a 2-on-1, delayed 2-on-1. Here's Pitlick, but the pass from Suzuki is a little bit behind him. And Hannafin was able to fend that one off, and back the other way come the Flames, but out of the reach of Matthew Tkachuk, and it goes all the way down the length of the ice for some wholesale changes here. Now here comes Noah Hannafin through center. Lindholm to Mangiapane. Penalty is over. The Canadians have killed off. And there's a big save there by Hammond. Actually, sorry, we're looking at Evans' shift length, who is back. There's still 20 seconds left, my bad, on the Flames penalty. There's Noah Hannafin pushing it up center, but intercepted by Dauphin. Intercepted by Evans, and there's a high stick. Yep. Noah Hannafin got his stick a little too high there on Jake Evans, who, God bless him, just got shaken up on the previous shift, and now he takes a stick to the face. It's only going to be 2 minutes as no blood was drawn. So a 2-minute power play, or sorry, a minute 50-second long power play will be coming up for the Habs here, as we see Noah Hannafin going off there for high sticking. And there's definitely a high sticking penalty on Hannafin. Gotta control your stick, right? So again, 11:18 to go in the period. Suzuki will take the face-off in front of Mikael Backlund, as Pierre Hood likes to say, or Michael Backlund. There's Backlund that wins the face-off, and the Flames will start out to center. Tanev will just go and dump it in, but he did not clear center, and the power play I don't think had expired yet, so it does go for icing. Interestingly enough, which I don't think... I think the penalty had expired. I think they were technically shorthanded. That might have been a bad call. Excuse me. I was up early this morning. What's it called? Yeah, I wanted to see face-offs. We'll pull that up in a second. We got Paling, who loses the draw to Michael Backlund. Love seeing Paling getting power play time, by the way, even though we couldn't win those at face-offs, and Flames are able to clear it. And they, I think I might have pushed myself back on my stream here a little bit. So Caulfield will lead the rush with Weidman. But now we're seeing a bit of the old bad habits that the Habs have had on the power play as they get steered back twice. Weidman will try to lead things now for the Canadians on the rush. Here's Weidman dropping it way back there to Suzuki. Suzuki with a nice little move there. Gets it right back. Caulfield, or he tries to pass to Caulfield. Now Caulfield gets it. Caulfield to Weidman. To Caulfield. Caulfield delays back to Weidman. Weidman to the right to Suzuki. Suzuki shoots. Markstrom makes a save. No face-off, and he cross-checks Paling in the back. Paling doing a great job there, annoying Markstrom, and Markstrom did not like that based on his reaction. Either way, this all results in a whistle. Yeah, so we saw Markstrom again just giving a little cross-check there to Ryan Paling. And in February, he has an 8-1 record, goals against average close to 2, Markstrom does. So he was the third star of the month of February. Face-off won by the Canadians. Hoffman to Clegg to Hoffman. Down low to Evans. Evans around to Pitlick. Pitlick out of his reach, though, and it goes all the way down the ice. So the Canadians haven't been able to muster that much pressure on this shift. Clegg will try to change that. Gets dumped in. Markstrom out to play it. He'll rim it. Not out, though. Stopped by Hoffman. And stopped by Clegg on the follow-up. Clegg to Gallagher to Hoffman. Looking to get things going here. But Gallagher gets poke-checked, and the puck comes out to center. Now here's Pitlick dropping off for Hoffman, who will take it in the length of the ice. Hoffman over the blue line. Drops off for Evans to Clegg, but he loses it. And watch out, here comes Josh Lavo, but good job by Cale Clegg to prevent Lavo from breaking away. But Monahan here is with the shot, and it goes just wide. Penalty expires, so we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Pitlick drops it off to Cale Clegg. And now here's Jake Evans through center. Evans with a shot. Nice blocker save by Markstrom into the corner. And here comes Brandon Tanev. We've only had 4 shots and we're past the midway point of the period. 4 shots this entire period. Oh, boy. Maybe that's why I'm yawning. Here comes Pizzetta over the blue line to Armia. His shot stopped by Markstrom. Rebound is loose. Still loose. Pizzetta on the doorstep. Can't quite get to it. Habs just save an occasion there as Lucic was able to skate away with it. Now here comes Monahan to center. He'll just flip it in. And Romanov will try to get it back. And he'll have to avoid a big hit from Lucic. Here's Sherratt to Romanov. To Armia. Armia loses it to Matthew Tkachuk in the neutral zone. And now back the other way comes Armia. Armia to Dauphin. Dauphin. Trying to find it in his skates. Can't quite get there. Finally does. Gets knocked down there and loses it to Lindholm. And now here comes Zadorov feeding Matthew Tkachuk to Johnny Gaudreau. Gaudreau, Hammond will come out to play it. And now Johnny Gaudreau intercepts it. Gaudreau, waits, shoots, scores! Johnny Gaudreau goes short side on the glove side to Andrew Hammond. And the Flames take the 2-1 lead. Johnny Gaudreau, you can't give him that much time and space down low like that because he will burn you. Literally. Well, maybe not literally, but Calgary Flames reference there. Flames take a 2-1 lead off of the short side snipe by Johnny Gaudreau on Andrew Hammond. It's just Romanov and Sherratt got a little too confused there, and that allowed Gaudreau the chance to find that open space, and that's where Andrew Hammond, and not just Andrew Hammond, this is all goaltenders nowadays doing that little reverse VH move. We're going, they're going down onto their, inside their post on the inside pad down, glove side down, just exposing that high corner side. It's a flawed execution of the reverse VH technique that goaltenders are guilty of all the time nowadays. And as a goalie who played from 2007 or 2006 all the way through 2015, I never played the reverse VH like that, so I really don't get it. I get the benefits of the reverse VH, but I just don't understand why goaltenders still are not adjusting and taking away that spot over the shoulder that you cannot cover with the reverse VH. So now here's Anderson. He rings one off the crossbar, or at least the back of the net, I think. It looked like the crossbar at once. Now here's Nick Ritchie. Ritchie with a quick shot. Hammond stops it, gives up the rebound, though. Luckily, Petrie is there to take that away. But Ritchie doing a nice job on the forecheck. Caulfield gets it, passes it to Clegg. Clegg to Suzuki. To Suzuki with a stretch pass to Anderson. He gets knocked down there by Kylington. That would have been a breakaway. Tanev takes it back through center to Ritchie to Tanev in front, but Petrie does a nice job fending off Chris Tanev. Petrie will get it right back. Petrie misses his pass, fending on it. Luckily, Evans was there to recuperate it. Evans through center, off the stick of Lehkonen and behind the Flames net. Habs are shooting the Flames 21-13, interestingly enough, but it's the Flames with the 2-1 lead after that goal by Johnny Gaudreau. Here's Richardson. Evans takes another high stick to the face. He'll get penalized. Man, Jake Evans has just had a rough game. Now Pitlick gets knocked down there by, who was that? Goodbranson or Lucic or Zadorov, I think. And the Canadiens will get another power play and a chance to tie it here as they go to another commercial. And I think I'm going to get a refill on my, or actually I'll wait till the intermission on that one. I'll wait till the intermission to get a refill on my water. Just want to again say a thank you to our audience on YouTube and our audience on ColorCast as well. Thank you for tuning into this live cast of Habs versus Flames. It's been a rough season on for the Habs, of course, but they've won 5 of their last 6? Yeah, 5 of their last 6. First 5-game win streak since the beginning of last season. So, it's been they've been watchable. There's not much to play for this year other than a first overall pick, but at least the Habs have been watchable this year, and that is fun. Until a bunch of other teams are playing in April, in the April playoffs, and we're not watching the Habs. But heck, the Habs went all the way to the Stanley Cup final last year, and I think, it's going to be tough next year. Just the East is just so strong with the Lightning, the Panthers, the Leafs, who are good in the regular season, the Rangers, the Rangers, the Capitals, the Islanders, who could bounce back. So I think even if the Habs settle for a wild card spot, who knows? Maybe they could surprise some people. We'll see. Either way, we'll be back on a power play when we come back from this break. When we come back from this commercial. And at the very least, I want to see them kind of do what they had going earlier in the game in the first period, where they were able to sustain pressure almost for like a full 90 seconds before finally the Flames are able to get the puck out, or at least not, or avoid giving up a goal against. But still, you want to see the Habs continue that. And Evans going to another trip down the tunnel of the Habs dressing room. I don't know if he came back or not, but that is Brad Richardson, who is guilty of the high stick, to give the Habs their third power play of the game. So it'll be Pitlick in front of Lindholm. Pitlick won it back. Sherratt. Okay, here's where I don't know if you're trying to boost Sherratt's trade value, but I don't understand this use of the second wave of the power play that struggled in the 3 chances that the Habs had. 0 for 3 on the night, so it's their fourth power play, rather. They do have 7 shots on goal on their power plays. Here's Pitlick trying to throw it in the zone to Lehkonen. Lehkonen to the net. Markstrom, nice save. Rebound. Markstrom, another save. Rebound, still loose. Pitlick. Shot. I think that just missed. Might have hit the post. I thought it hit the post at first, but it just misses the net. Either way, play continues. Here's Hoffman settling it down. Hoffman. He'll delay. Delay still. Feed Sherratt, but out of his reach, and back out to center. So the Habs have to reset here. So Ben Sherratt will start the rush. Sherratt through center. Dumps it into the corner. Markstrom out to play it. Sherratt forechecking somehow, and doesn't really amount to much, as the Flames will just dump it back the other way and go for a change. Andrew Hammond out to play it. He'll just leave it there for Caulfield. And Suzuki now back to Caulfield. Caulfield tries to drop it off for Suzuki. Getting there late. It went off an official. Suzuki to... Who is that? Caulfield? Or Anderson, rather. Paling. But offside, as Josh Anderson had jumped across the blue line too early. And ever since that first power play, hasn't been much for the Habs on the power plays. We see the headshots that Evans has taken, the elbow from Matthew Tkachuk, and the stick by Brad Richardson, the stick by Noah Hannafin earlier in the period. So it's been a rough day at the office for Jake Evans, to say the least. Face-off is won by Ryan Paling, dumped in quickly by Chris Weidman. Markstrom, though, will get it and try to clear it out, at least to center, as it was stick down by Suzuki. Here comes Mangiapane on a 2-on-1. Mangiapane scores! Andrew Mangiapane found the open spot in the same spot where Johnny Gaudreau scored over the shoulder to Andrew Hammond's glove side, and Calgary makes this a 3-1 hockey game. On a technically not a shorthanded goal, as the penalty had expired. But yeah, that's where you see why Andrew Hammond, I guess, hasn't been in the NHL for a while, because he just got beat glove side. On a 2-on-1, he just kind of lost his net there, because on a 2-on-1 there, Weidman tried diving back to break that up at the last minute, but Andrew Hammond, you'd like him to be a little bit more aggressive and be able to take away that high glove side. Don't get me wrong, that's a really nice high backhand shot by Andrew Mangiapane. But yeah. 3-1 Calgary. And as you can tell, I'm kind of cheering for the Habs, but but at the same time, if the Habs lose, oh well. the worst team. They're the worst team in the East now, second worst team in the NHL, and just allow them to boost their odds to get Shane right. Here's Jeff Petrie through center. Now Hoffman shoots. It gets blocked in front by, I think, Josh Lavo. Kulak to Gallagher. Gallagher with the shot. Hoffman rebound. Markstrom way out of his net, and he gets taken down. I think that will go for tripping. I think Markstrom will get penalized for tripping Mike Hoffman, who had a chance to put that in the wide open net. Let's see how this gets called. It is a goaltender penalty here to Jacob Markstrom for the trip on Mike Hoffman behind the net. So the Habs will get a fifth power play here. They are 0 for 4, gave up the goal at the end of that last power play. So an important power play here to draw back within one. An important power play here indeed. So, yeah, just look, the Canadiens, even though they're out shooting the Flames, I mean, Jacob Markstrom has played really solid in this game. That last play there was probably one of the few situations where we really saw Jacob Markstrom lose his net. And it was a smart play by Mike Hoffman there to, Mike Hoffman, a nice patient play to try to outweight Jacob Markstrom to the forehand side or to his left side. But Jacob Markstrom stuck with him and tripped him, essentially, and that's what led to the penalty. So let's see what happens on this Habs power play. Again, I'm just hoping. I just hope. What I'm hoping is to not see Ben Sherratt. I'm hoping for my eyes, but not for my brain. My brain wants Ben Sherratt to get as much trade value as possible. My eyes just don't want to see Ben Sherratt in the power play. My eyes want to see Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, Josh Anderson, Ryan Poehling, and let's say a Chris Weidman at the point, because why not? Or Jeff Petrie at the point. Assuming he passes to Cole Caulfield, which I'd imagine he would now. So here, Pierre Hood saying Markstrom is puni, not chassé. And yeah, there you go. There you see the trip there, sticking the paddle out on Hoffman as he was taken way out of his net there. Again, nice smart play by Hoffman to draw the penalty, as we do see the Suzuki line, but he loses the faceoff to Backlund. And now Tanev will try to get it out. Finally, it goes to Goodbranson, and he will be able to clear the zone, as the Habs will have to double back and reset their attack. Hammond will drop it off to Petrie. Now here's Poehling. Now Tanev behind the net. Caulfield loses it, though, to Backlund. This is where the Habs have just been unwatchable on the power play, honestly. Here's Backlund with a quick shot, too high over the net, but that will spring Poehling a little loose there on a rush. Poehling to Suzuki to Poehling, as the Habs will try to set up their power play, but Poehling loses it, and it is cleared there by Tanev. So the Habs, again, even though it's their first wave on the power play, have just been forced to go back and get the puck 3 times in a row here. Now here's Weidman. Weidman throws it up, and another high sticking penalty coming up as Gallagher took one to the face. Yikes, that did not look fun. Zadorov will go off for high sticking for sure. It is Zadorov that high stick Gallagher right in the face, and that definitely hurt him. I want to see the replay. I hope Gallagher's okay. Seems to be okay. Like he needed a couple of minutes there at first. It's a 2-minute penalty. That's what I was waiting for. So it's a 2-minute high sticking penalty. Again, I find it's weird because sometimes they call it 2 minutes when it should be 4 minutes, or 4 minutes when it should be 2 minutes. But anyway. Yeah, so just he tried checking and slowing Gallagher up at the blue line, but Gallagher just took a stick right to the face. He just got a stick right up in Gallagher's face. And luckily, Gallagher's okay. And we'll see the Habs go to work on another 5-on-3 here. So we'll see Suzuki, Pitlick, Hoffman. Better be Caulfield out there. That's all I want to see. I'm wearing my number 22 for Caulfield today also. So I want to see him keep the streak alive under Marty St. Louis. He is at the point there, but the faceoff is lost. So several precious seconds will be burned here off of the power play as the Hoffman has to go back and get it in his own zone. Now Hoffman through center. We'll drop it off to Caulfield. Caulfield to Hoffman in his skates, but he gets it. Hoffman delays to Caulfield. Now Caulfield to Hoffman. Hoffman down low. Suzuki in front. They score! Brendan Gallagher chips the pass from Suzuki in, and it is back to being a 1-goal game. And the Habs still have a power plays. They benefit from the 5-on-3. And now they'll keep the power play and try to get one on the 5-on-4. Oh, yeah, I have to update the score here. Wow, I'm way behind on this here. Oof. Oh, boy. Oh, I see the replay of the goal first. So Gallagher just wins position as he does so. I think it's actually going to be, Suzuki getting credit for it. Yeah, I think Suzuki gets credit for it, not Gallagher. So another minute 30 to go here on the power play for the Canadiens. I just want to update the ticker here real quick. Edit for 3-2. So now 2 minutes. 2 minutes to go here in the second period as Lehkonen will get it in deep. Got the second unit on here. And Ben Sherratt. With another minute 15 to go here on the power play. It's his first goal on the road since January 22 for Nick Suzuki. It's not an ideal stat, but at least he breaks through. So here's Sherratt to Lehkonen. Lehkonen. Now here's Lehkonen back to Sherratt. Sherratt, one-timer there. Gets blocked. That was Hoffman's one-timer. Hoffman's been playing a lot on this power play. Sherratt keeps it at the line. To Hoffman, to Lehkonen. Lehkonen's shot gets blocked. Lehkonen gets it back to Sherratt. Sherratt to Lehkonen. Lehkonen waiting. Lehkonen back to the point to Sherratt. Sherratt drops it off for Pitlick. Back to Sherratt. Sherratt with a little bit of difficulty getting it. He finally gets it to Hoffman, to Pitlick. Pitlick in front off a shot pass. Deflects wide by Lehkonen. Taken back, though, by Hoffman. Good job holding the zone. But finally, I think that's Andrew Mangiapane will get a chance to clear it all the way the length of the ice. And Hammond will leave it for Ben Sherratt. We got under a minute to go here. 10 seconds on the power play. 55 left in the period. Suzuki breaks through. Suzuki throws it in front, but Caulfield wasn't quite there yet. As the penalty expires, Petrie with a shot goes wide. And Toffoli will recoup it and get it out. And Petrie will get it back behind the net with Mangiapane putting some pressure on him. Now here's Toffoli with a shot pass in front. Rebound. Stopped there by Hammond on Mangiapane. Mangiapane to Anderson. His shot gets blocked by Gallagher. Tkachuk there behind the net to take it, though. And now Tkachuk will throw it around to Mangiapane. Back to Tkachuk. Matthew Tkachuk loses the battle to Brett Kulak, rather. Nick Suzuki gets it out to center. And that will pretty much do it here in the second period. So the score is 3-2 in favor of the Flames. Once again, you are watching the Habs versus Flames here on ColorCast and on YouTube. I'm Mike Langer. And I'm just going to take a quick little break here. I'll be right back to continue playing Armchair GM. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. We are back here. Wait. We are back here on ColorCast and on youtube.com/Langer at the mic for this Habs versus Flames game. The Flames lead the Canadians 3-2 after two. And we got Randy here in the comment section. Langer, about time you saddle up on the Habs this year. Nice shave. Thank you. It's just I figured, again, I've been casting several. I've casted one Habs game before, the Habs Leafs game. There, Randy, if you're there, I think you're come back as well. But either way, let's play a little bit of armchair GM. Why not? How do we? Where do we do? Okay, so we'll do this. We'll do this. We'll do that. We'll do that. Do that. Switch it to this and share, right? Perfect. Okay, so here's the roster that I have constructed in the last edition of Armchair GM. Water, nice. So again, if you're on YouTube, seeing this on YouTube, leave in the comments what you think about this roster. Cole Caulfield, Suzuki Anderson on the first line. Lehkonen, Patrice Bergeron, Gallagher. Shane Wright with Byron and Hoffman. Could also swap Byron with Lehkonen if you so please on the second line. I mean, maybe not as much offense on those on that second line, but still, you got Bergeron and Mike Hoffman. Bergeron obviously was represented by Kent Hughes previously. And so is Chris Letang. So that's why I signed them. But will Patrice Bergeron come here? Probably not. It might not be likely. I also kept Andrew Hammond, but he has struggled at least with that high over-the-shoulder glove side tonight. But he was very solid in the last two games that he has played. And he had a really strong first period, though. I will say that. And obviously Price and goal, and pray to God Caden Primo can hopefully get the job done for in the future. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a confidence thing for Caden Primo. I think he just really needs to be given the reins in goal at the right time. I think that's hopefully what will help him. Yeah, so that's I'm gonna kind of undo this this stuff here on in terms of Armchair GM. In terms of what I've done on the previous version of Armchair GM. So this is again for next year. So let's scrap Bergeron because I don't think that's realistic. I'm going to keep Chris Letang though, and I'm going to keep Caden Gooley and Romanov. That'll stay the same. Evans will stay the same. Keeping Rem Pitlick, and I'm going to keep Chris Letang. And now with $10 million of cap space to spend, I think at this point, here's where you'd want to look for a little bit more help on the wings. Or you know what, even? What if you bring back Christian Dvorak and Jonathan Drouin? So essentially, and I'd still trade Armia because I find he's just a little, as great as he was in the playoffs, he's just a little too inconsistent in the regular season. He does have 3 years left on his contract, though, and he gets injured a lot in the season. Loved what he did in the playoffs last year. But again, just in terms of his, maybe he just needs the playoffs to step up. Maybe he just needs the playoffs as opportunity to, or as his time to shine, and that's what motivates him more. But either way, just want to make sure my sound's still up here. Yeah, okay, good. On the broadcast, at least so I know when the intermission's over. Yeah, so basically with Drouin and Dvorak in the mix, Drouin is under contract for 1 more year. So if they, I mean, assuming they don't sign Patrice Bergeron, which I would say is unlikely, this is actually still a pretty decent lineup, I must say. Throw in Drouin, let's say Shane Wright, Drouin, and Hoffman would be a very fun line. I'd be like just a let's just score as many goals as we can type of line. That would be really fun. Lehkonen, Dvorak, Gallagher, maybe even Byron. Pitlick, Lehkonen, and Paling or Evans. Yeah, I like that. I could boogie with that. On so if you're listening in on YouTube or on Colorcast rather on YouTube, you can see this. I kept Chris Letang. But at forward now, instead of signing Patrice Bergeron and getting rid of or trading Drouin Dvorak, keeping Dvorak, keeping Drouin, and the lineup looks as such: Suzuki, Anderson, Caulfield, Shane Wright, Mike Hoffman, Drouin, Dvorak, Gallagher, Byron, Evans, Pitlick, Lehkonen, and Ryan Paling. So really, this is something that could happen. This is something that could legitimately happen. And Andrew Hammond is kept over Jake Allen. Jake Allen is still traded in this case. I doubt they would trade Paul Byron, who, even though he's been injured, you could put his cap number on LTIR if he does get injured, worst case. But just sucks that he's had so many injuries because he's just such a tough forward to play against. Even though he's like 5'7", 180 pounds, barely. He's just such a smart, fast, chippy, maybe not chippy, but just like a smart, tough to play against two-way forward. So yeah, Dvorak, Byron, Gallagher, Shane Wright, Drouin, Hoffman, Suzuki, Caulfield, Anderson would be the top line. Reading this backwards, and Evans, Lehkonen, and Pitlick. And you could also put Paling at center. I think Paling is more important to play center than Evans. So you could put Lehkonen on the left wing, Evans on the right wing. Evans, I think, it would be more important to play Paling at center and Evans on the wing rather than play Evans at center and Paling on the wing. But yeah, I can boogie with this lineup. Pretty decent. Just wanted to see if there is perhaps another splash signing that I can make here. Signing status UFA. Evgeny Malkin is a free agent next year. Evgeny Malkin's a free agent next year. Would Evgeny Malkin come to Montreal? Nah. Who am I kidding? That would be really cool, though. Joe Pavelski, he's a little bit up there in age. Radulov is a free agent again. Maybe a reunion there. I doubt it. But that would be fun. Maybe just not at, $6.5 million a cap hit or $6.25 million a cap hit. Not much in terms of defensemen, other than maybe Justin Schultz, but yeah, he's average to say the least. We're back. No, actually, we're not quite back yet in the third period. Why? Oh yeah, I muted my audio here. That's why. There we go. Now I could hear the audio of the intermission. Okay, just want to make sure we get back to the game in time, of course. Yeah, so just in terms of players to add, I guess the other only splash player to really add would be Malkin in this case. But you could take a chance on a veteran who, guys like Pavelski, Malkin, dare I say Phil Kessel. Where does he go? Who knows? He has 33 points, though, in 53 games, only 6 goals, which is interesting. Who else? David Perron. David Perron would be an interesting guy to sign. You know what? 29 points, 40 games. You know what? If the Habs, what if I replace David Perron with or Drouin with Perron? Or Dvorak? If you trade Dvorak and bring in David Perron, what would that look like? Huh. And obviously this is all assuming that Shane Wright is there. This is all very much assuming that Shane Wright is there. That would be really fun. Shane Wright is there. Shane Wright is if Shane Wright is there, then and assuming he develops into the number 1, number 2 center that he's supposed to be, then that means that you can afford again to trade Dvorak. I don't know if I'd retain any salary with 3 years left on his deal, though. Then you could afford to put Evans as the third line center and Paling as the fourth line center. Yeah, just what's it called here? I'll just make the move here. Why not? I'll sign Perron here. David Perron. Let's keep him at around 3.5. Let's just say 4 if you have to over, or 375. 375. I think that is a fair number for David Perron. Let's say 2 years. Sign. There we go. And then in this case, we would get rid of Dvorak. Get rid of Dvorak. We would trade him. Obviously, we're trading Armia in this case as well. And then in this case, again, you would have Evans as a center. You'd be a lot thinner at center, so you'd want to get a guy that can play. Like maybe that's where you'd bring back Matthew Perreault, not Cedric Paquette. God, not Cedric Paquette. But you'd bring back a Matthew Perreault or type of guy that could play center or wing or multiple positions, basically. But yeah, that's still a pretty good lineup there. You can afford to put Perron on the wing with Paling and Gallagher. What's it called? Lehkonen would slide in over here. The other option, yeah, you would become a lot thinner here at center, and Paling, you'd need him to really step up as in his like now would be the time for Paling to really become like that bottom six strong center or reliable center, or you need him to in this case. Also, I guess put Evans there with Gallagher and Perron. So again, the Habs would be thinner at center. So maybe it would not be the best idea to get rid of Dvorak. But if you could trade Drouin in that case, so would you want to replace Drouin with Perron? That could work out. Possibly. I don't think it's as realistic though. Then you put I would say Pitlick would be the extra guy, Byron on the wing, Dvorak, Evans, or Paling and Evans, something like that. Yeah, that could work. Perron, Shane Wright, and Mike Hoffman, a nice little mix of two-way skill there. And yeah, that could work out, honestly. Again, even without David Perron, even with keeping Drouin. So really the only big move I'm making here is signing Chris Letang. That's about it. Again, he represents Kent Hughes, or he was represented by Kent Hughes. So that's really the only blockbuster move or splash move that I made in free agency here. And then also, in this case, you can afford to take back Jake Allen. Can you? Yes, barely, but you can. So this would work. So if they find a way to offload Drouin but keep and sign Perron, then that would allow them to sign Jake Allen. And I'm curious to see what the Habs cap situation would look like in 2024. Create a team, Habs, 2023, 2024. Not a robot. They'd have to sign Caulfield at that point, though. They would have 22 million in cap space, but again, this is without Caulfield under contract, without Romanov under contract. Petrie's still there. Savard, yeah, Savard's there. Price is obviously still there. 3 more years at that point. So going into the year after next year, they would still have $22 million or $23 million to try to sign Caulfield, to try to sign Romanov, and I think those are really the only main players that would be missing in that case. But that's our Be a GM exercise for the evening. Oh, yes. A couple of comments here from Randy. Does PK come back? Just joined. Not sure if you went over him yet, as I remove my Twitter here. So, Randy, I would say I honestly think it is more realistic or more ideal for Chris Letang to sign here versus PK Subban, because Just gonna edit this here because of the try this again because of the ties between Kent Hughes to Chris Letang. Could PK come back on a cheap deal? Could maybe both PK and Chris Letang sign? Maybe that would be interesting. That would be fun. That'd definitely make the Habs watchable again, or very watchable and interesting. There could be a lot of fireworks in the locker room, but that'd be very interesting. Yeah, that would probably also be in the case that Jeff Petrie gets traded, but I'd be highly doubtful of that. Just gonna get that there, and we are back pretty much for the third period here, or about to be back. I'm a little bit behind here. Just keep that in mind. And Randy, if you're tuned in on YouTube, why don't you tune in on ColorCast there? I know we got VOR.RED from Celeste. Don't quite know what that means. But either way, yeah, here we are. I am about ready to start the second period here as Backlund wins the faceoff in front of Suzuki, and we are off in the second period between the Habs and the Flames. Once again, the Flames lead 3-2, despite the Habs outshooting them 23-16 and having some good moments here over the course of this game. But it was just those two shots that beat Andrew Hammond over the shoulder that are the difference in this game. So here's Josh Anderson, tries passing it to Caulfield, but he was behind him. Now Andrew Mangiapane with some space. Sherratt gets back in time to fend him off, but a backhand shot there by Blake Coleman gets blocked in front, and back the other way come the Habs, at least out to center. But Tanev and Kylington will pass it back and forth and start the rush the other way. Andrew Hammond plays it out behind his net. He'll just rim it. Blocked there by Matthew Tkachuk. Goes to the point, Tanev to Kylington. Kylington with a shot. Deflected up and out of play. So we'll have a face-off to the right of Andrew Hammond. Excuse me. Yeah, I was just getting some shots of Marty St. Louis here. Back with the Lightning in 2004. I would say my favorite Marty St. Louis moment was when he got interviewed, I think in his time as a Ranger. So you look at the Rangers. This is footage of the Rangers here, and when he lost the cup in 2014 against the Kings. This is a nice save by Andrew Hammond on the doorstep. Here's Kylington with a shot that goes wide. Puck stays behind the net. Tkachuk trying to get to it. Goes to Gaudreau. To Kylington. Shot deflected off the post, I think, by Tkachuk. And here is Mike Hoffman trying to win the battle behind the net to Kulak. He gets it out to Gallagher. Gallagher off the wall, off a stanchion. Goes back the other way. Here's Kylington. D to Tanev. Back to Kylington. Kylington to center. Taken by Tanev. Here's Kulak now back the other way. To Gallagher. Gallagher waits. Shoots. Markstrom with the save. Squeezing those pads together. And forcing a whistle. That was a nice solid save by Markstrom. And good patience there by Gallagher. But could have maybe gone for a more dangerous shot. I just wanted to say also, my favorite Marty St. Louis moment was when he was with the Rangers, I think I want to say, in the playoffs, where he lost 2 or 3 teeth or whatever. And in an interview, he was just all mad, obviously. Maybe annoyed that he lost his teeth, but also just didn't care that he lost his teeth. He's just who needs teeth for hockey? Who cares? So what? You still got to get back in there and play or something along those lines. That was my favorite Marty St. Louis moment personally. So the faceoff is won by the Flames, but it is turned over in the neutral zone back the other way. The Habs were trying to go back the other way, but they got forced back. Here's Weidman D to Clegg. Clegg back up the boards to Lehkonen. Lehkonen to Dauphin. His shot, or Paling, I should say. His shot goes wide. Now a shot from far by Weidman gets stopped by Markstrom easily, and back the other way come the Flames. Here is Toffoli trying to get checked by Clegg. Toffoli with the forecheck, and now turned over. Lucic pass in front, doesn't quite make it to his teammate. Now Hanifin with a shot, gloved down by Hammond, but not for a whistle. A rebound was there for a moment, but taken back by the Habs. Now Lehkonen will just rim it and go off for a change. Markstrom out to play it. Leaving it there for Noah Hanifin. Hanifin through center, tipped and in. Sherratt gives chase to it. Sherratt hit there by Ritchie. Richie, getting a little glitchy there on the feed. Oh, there's Dauphin, just out of his reach. No icing, though. Goes the length of the ice. Dauphin Pizzetta, rather, tries to get to the point. This is the fourth line out there. As Dauphin rims it around to Sherratt. Sherratt, a little move there on Josh Levo. Sherratt, nice job on Josh Levo. Gets a D to D. And the shot by Romanov goes just wide. Dauphin in on the forecheck there. But Tanev able to flip it out to center. And Sherratt will take it back. Sherratt to Dauphin. Dauphin take as a Zadorov, rather. Zadorov there. Gets it out to Coleman. Just out of the reach of Backlund, though. And Petrie there to play it. Petrie loses it. Backlund to the net. Blocked down front. Now pass to Coleman. Goes through his skates and wide of the net. And now a long pass here for Josh Anderson, but too far. He isn't able to get to it in time. It goes the length for an icing. So we're just seeing all the highlights here on Markstrom, who's been busy tonight. He hasn't been giving up too many rebounds tonight, and when he has, it's been pretty well handled by the Flames defense. Although the goal he gave up was on a rebound, so maybe that would be a good game plan for the Habs. As Hanifin with the shot, stopped there by Hammond. He gives up a rebound, but no Flames able to bury that one as we welcome in an anonymous listener here. Tkachuk behind the net. Tkachuk gets away from Petrie, but not necessarily Caulfield. Caulfield stabs at it, turns it over. A shot there by Lindholm gets deflected. And the puck rolls all the way down the boards there. Finally taken by Suzuki. Suzuki will try to get it to Kulak, who banks it off the glass. Turned over in the neutral zone. Hanifin gets it to Gaudreau. Gaudreau turns it over, and back the other way comes Suzuki for a one-on-one. Suzuki with a little move there. Suzuki loses it, though. Waits for help, and now here comes Hoffman. Hoffman, the point, Sherratt with a shot. He scores! Ben Sherratt ties it up for the Canadiens with Gallagher posting his way in front, and that will boost your trade value for Ben Sherratt. He ties it up at 3. Man, these Habs under Martin St. Louis just don't give up. They just don't give up. They are the second worst team in the league still by standing, because that's just how bad they were earlier in the season. Great. And also, yeah, just that Suzuki won't get an assist on this goal, but that is all his work right there. That is all Nick Suzuki. Just his ability on a one-on-one to just get away from the Flames defenseman there. With Gallagher, just allowed just enough time for reinforcements to come in to enter the play. And Gallagher obviously posted himself in front, and Sherratt just the nice shot beating Markstrom and Ben Sherratt with 6 goals on the year now. Low key. Again, that'll help his trade value. Back the other way, the Habs come. Now it's Gallagher. Gallagher trying to find Hoffman, gets lost in the skates of Kylington, Kylington. Passes in front, Dauphin to the point. Clegg to the side. Pass in front is intended for Gallagher, but taken back by Brandon Tanev. Tanev pushes it up to Lucic. Lucic to Hoffman. Hoffman he enters the zone, puts the backhander on Markstrom. He gives up a rebound, and Dauphin isn't able to get to it, as we saw Gallagher's a little shaken up on the bench there. Here's Brett Ritchie giving it to Zadorov, and now finally banked in on Hammond, who he leaves it for Petrie. His clearing attempt gets blocked, though, by Richardson, rather, and it goes out of play for a whistle. And yeah, just again, Gallagher is just really a wrecking ball in front of the net between Kylington, between Monahan, taking cross checks from Markstrom. Maybe that's why he's a little shaken up going to the bench there. And now Suzuki for the faceoff in front of Josh Levo. Levo wins it. Goes back to the point. Here's Goodbranson with a shot. Rebound. Oh, what a save by Hammond. Rebound. I think that Nick Suzuki just made that save in a wide open net. So the shot got blocked in front. The follow-up there by Brett Ritchie off the backhand was stopped by a sprawling Andrew Hammond. I'm looking at the replay here right now. Yeah, it got blocked down front. Andrew Hammond made the first save. The rebound just, oh my God, it was Brett Ritchie just missed a wide open net. I think Nick Suzuki might have gotten a piece of it, but from one of those angles, it looked like Levo just airmailed it. Or Ritchie, rather, just airmailed it. Either way, it stays a tied game at 3-3. Here's Petrie flipping the puck out to center and all the way down the ice for an icing. So again, the score is 3-3 here in the third period. Under 14 minutes to go. Again, Ben Sherrod, his first goal, though, in 25 games. So in those previous games, before those 25 games, he had scored 5 goals this season. Habs won the faceoff, but Kulak turns it over to a Flame. Coleman, I believe. Go D to D. Goodbranson is Zadorov, but his shot gets deflected off of Suzuki and out of play. Oh, yeah. What I want to see is Suzuki's face-off. So he lost that face-off there. I want to see how Suzuki's face-offs have been. Yeah, I should really have had this open here the whole time. Box score. Let's see more. Yeah, not very good. 6 for 16 on face-offs is Nick Suzuki. So not ideal. But we go to a commercial break after that puck did go out of play. Again, 3-3 is the score. We're in the third period right now between the Habs and the Calgary Flames. Once again, though, honestly, the fact, like, it's just remarkable, I find, how the Habs struggled with the Flames so much last year. But this year, the Flames are a much better team. But the Habs are playing them hard. You know, Habs are are being tough to play against here against the Flames, or they're being tough to play against in these games. These 2 games against the Flames, the Habs beat the Flames in I think the second home game at the Bell Center this season, or third game, I want to say. It was Rangers, Detroit, and Calgary in those combination of games there at the Bell Center. But either way, yeah, the Habs have just given the Flames all they could handle in the 2 games that they've played against each other. So, yeah, it's been fun this year, at least against the Flames. And the Flames are a much better team. Just if Suzuki could get better at faceoffs, that would be really, really cool in terms of him being a all-around 2-way center. How good is Dauphin on faceoffs? 3 for 11. So that's, again, where you see the lack of faceoff depth. Jake Evans is 3 for 6. Paling is, what is he? Paling is 5 for 8, which is interesting. Looking at the curling club, the Calgary Curling Club on RDS here, on the RDS feed. Face off to the right of Hammond is won by the Flames. Suzuki lost that. He's 6 for 17 now. Taken back by Romanov behind the net, but lost on the follow-up here. Rasmus Andersson with a shot pass. Hammond way out of his nets, but the Flames are not able to corral that. Blake Coleman was posted in front, but Ben Sherrod and company did a great job boxing him out. Puck comes to the point to Andersson. Now to Hannafin. Hannafin with a shot pass. Lindholm was able to get a stick on it. The follow-up is just missed. Taken back by Hannafin. He misses. And now here's Rasmus Andersson. Flames getting good pressure on this shift here. Hannafin with a one-time pass to Coleman. His shot gets blocked in front. Here's Ritchie to Mangiapane. Mangiapane lost it to Armia, who lost it to Backlund, but he lost it to Suzuki. He gets it to Armia. Armia loses it in return now. Here's Chris Tanev with a dump in behind the net. Kulak will leave it for Backlund, who shoots, but it gets blocked. And now Gallagher goes back the other way. Here's Hoffman pushing it in behind Tanev. Tanev gets to it first. Hoffman in front. but Dauphin just missed the net. Now Dauphin gets it back, though. Dauphin still with it. Leaves it for, tries to leave it for Petrie. But that is Lindholm back there to take it back for the Flames. And Tanev will start the breakout. Has to get away from Dauphin. Gets chipped in. Petrie gets it back, though. Petrie loses it now. Anderson falls. Had a chance to maybe streak away there, but Kylington pushes it ahead. And now a 2-on-2 led by Gaudreau. Gaudreau with a shot and a nice blocker save there by Hammond. And Josh Anderson trying to take it back. Finally, Dauphin loses it. Toffoli back the other way. Tyler Toffoli goes with a pass in front, and there is Rem Pitlick in great position to take it back. Pitlick with speed goes to the outside. Pitlick to the net, and Markstrom makes a save. Pitlick stays with it, feeds the point. Clay with a shot, and Markstrom will glove it down with his chest. Nice speed there by Rem Pitlick to create that chance, and the score stays tied. But Andrew Hammond, as we look at his night of work, again, he had to make some pretty good saves in this game, even though the save percentage doesn't look that nice. But either way, honestly, again, even though the stats don't look great in terms of save percentage for Andrew Hammond, he's played a pretty solid game, all things considered. So now here's Suzuki with a backhander off the side of the net. Weidman gets it back to Anderson. Anderson will rim it around for Suzuki. Goes out of his reach, though. Lucic gets it back. Suzuki takes it right back, though. Here's Clegg. Clegg with a shot. It troubled Markstrom a little bit. Stopped it, but the Flames are right there on the rebound. Now through center. Taken back by Weidman. Weidman pushes it ahead for Clegg, who will just go dump it in and go for a change. Nikita Zadorov. Behind his net, Zadorov waiting for a play to open up. He will just feed it to the right side for Rasmus Anderson, who will just go for a dump in. Petrie will rim it around for Lehkonen. Petrie gets it back, but out of his reach. There's Anderson, or Goodbranson rather, with a shot, and Hammond will glove it down. And we'll get a whistle. So we're seeing Pitlick again, the replay on Pitlick here, just streaking in, but Hammond or Markstrom was able to get that paddle down, take away the 5-hole. Still a nice little rush there by Rem Pitlick, who's been a nice little bottom six player here for the Habs. Nice little hardworking, speedy bottom six winger. So now here's Poehling in front of Josh Lavo on the faceoff. And it is won by Poehling, who's had a decently strong night in the faceoff for the little work that he has had. Lehkonen will flip it into the opposite corner for no icing. Goodbranson there first, but being watched by Poehling. Poehling wins the battle, rims it around for Sherratt. Sherratt with a shot pass, but gets knocked down in front there by Lavo. Now, or Ritchie rather. Ritchie with a shot. Hammond just blockers that into the corner. Ritchie now and pass in front. What a save by Andrew Hammond on Brad Richardson. He knew he was there the whole time. And a rebound. Follow-up chances also stopped by Andrew Hammond on Brett Ritchie, or Josh Lavo, I should say. Andrew Hammond with back-to-back great saves there to keep this a tied game. Whew. Now back the other way again. Mangiapane with it broken up, though, by a diving Brendan Gallagher. He was going for a nice streaking pass on the back door, but Brendan Gallagher read that the whole way to break it up. We go to another commercial break at the halfway point here of the third period. It is still a 3-3 game. But let me ask you again, COLORCAST, YouTube, Stanley Tucci. I honestly haven't spoken to Stanley Tucci Sheldon in a while, but he's doing all right. I want to ask you, Randy, YouTube, Langer at the mic, COLORCAST, people tuned in on COLORCAST. I want to ask you, does Andrew Hammond take the backup spot next year? If Jake Allen, in the event that Jake Allen is traded, is Andrew Hammond the backup for the Montreal Canadiens next year? Or should the Habs look to fit Jake Allen as their starter next year and just roll with Jake Allen, Carey Price, and Caden Primo, maybe Montembeau as a extra option. Oh, it is Stanley Tucci. Hey, Sheldon. Sheldon, welcome back, Sheldon. How's it going, man? I thought that was Randy's comment. I didn't even realize that was Sheldon's comment. Wow, welcome back, Sheldon. Sheldon, if you get an iPhone, co-host with me on ColorCast here, bud. But yeah, so in terms of PK coming back, yeah, just I wanted to repeat my answer on that. So I would say it is actually more likely that the Habs try to target Chris Letang if he doesn't re-sign with Pittsburgh over bringing PK back. But if they could offload either who's on the right side, if they trade Petrie or Savard and end up going with Savard or sorry, if they could somehow have Petrie, Subban and Letang on that right side, that would be very fun. But they'd have to unload the Savard contract, which might not be looking like a relatively great contract, but I personally don't hate it. I'm not putting it in the Alzner category just yet, but as we see the great saves made here by Andrew Hammond. But I would definitely I would welcome a PK Subban reunion, but not over Chris Letang as Dauphin wins the faceoff and the puck goes out to center. Taken back by the Flames, though. Here's Coleman, watched by Petrie, and he takes it away, or Hoffman takes it away. Dauphin, watched by two Flames, has to backhand it into the neutral zone. Gallagher chips it in. There's Chris Tanev. Tanev will push it up to Blake Coleman, taken back by Tanev. Now to Kylington. And now here's Backlund on the rush with a quick shot blocked by Kulak. Nice block there by Brett Kulak. And a shot from the point gets blocked by Kulak again. And Gallagher will just slap it out to center. Now Hoffman will tries to chip it in, I should say. And it goes out of play for a whistle. Get our comments here. So we're saying Hammond will be the backup if Allen is traded. Absolutely. Good to be back. Hope you're doing well there, Sheldon. Hammond better than Monty. I agree. I think I could agree on that, at least with the way that Hammond has been playing. I would not say that Allen is like the Allen injury does affect him, of course, but if he is healthy, he is very tradable, of course. But the 8 weeks as of January 21st would put him 2 months to like March 21st. So could he be healthy by playoff time for a team in contention? Maybe, but we'll see. So we take the play back here. Or maybe I might have rewinded it. No, I didn't rewind it. We're live. So there's Paling along the boards. Paling to Armia. Lost there to Lindholm. Romanov up to Pizzetta. And Pizzetta will just go for a content d'un dégagement, as Pierre Houd loves to say, and go for a change. Suzuki there on the forecheck, though. Suzuki trying to win the battle. And Monahan wins it, though, for the moment. Rough battle there for the puck. Finally, the Flames come out with it. Here's Toffoli. Toffoli almost had a breakaway there, but a nice play by Clay. He will get penalized for interference. Will kill Clegg, but he does a nice enough job to take away a breakaway by Tyler Toffoli, and that's what we will miss on the Canadian side. A great, smart play there by Toffoli to put that puck right between the two defensemen and try to split them, but it results in a penalty for Cale Clegg. Is Arizona playing tonight? They're beating Colorado 2-1, by the way. So we got to cheer for Arizona, I should say, to win. Monty doesn't close off the angles enough. Yeah, like I just find Montembeau has had more ugly games than Andrew Hammond. I mean, relatively short sample size, but just Andrew Hammond has just been solid, honestly. The same way Allen I found at the beginning of the season. Oh, even though he's been hung out to dry, he's been solid earlier this season. So Flames on the power play. The chance to take the lead. A shot from the point goes wide. Here's Rasmus Anderson, but Romanov will be able to just clear it all the way down to Jacob Markstrom. Again, 7.5 to go here in the third period. A little bit of a turnover there, or almost a turnover, as Dauphin was able to streak in and almost take that away. Here's Tkachuk to Anderson, Rasmus Anderson, and a shot there blocked in front by Toffoli. And Rasmus Anderson takes it out back to center. Third power play of the game for the Flames. Ooh, there's a little opening there for Lindholm. He shoots just wide to the glove side of Andrew Hammond, and it goes all the way down to the Flames zone. Markstrom has to come out way far out to play it and leave it for Hanifin, who will start the rush. Hanifin to Backlund. Backlund with a shot that goes well wide of the net. And here comes Nick Suzuki with a little bit of space, perhaps, on a Hanifin. Suzuki will delay. Suzuki, he'll just go with a shot on Markstrom. That was his best option. And back the other way come the Flames. Here is Michael Backlund into the corner for Blake Coleman. But Kulak would have gotten there first if he didn't fall, but he fell, and the Flames are able to recover it. Hanifin down low to Backlund to Hanifin. A one-timer there by Gaudreau gets blocked. And a clear there by the Montreal Canadiens all the way back down to Andrew Hammond. I really miss Edmondson too there, Randy. Hoping to see more live streams or post-game shows. Yeah. And again, Randy, Sheldon, if you could join us on a ColorCast, that's download the ColorCast app. I'll be casting a lot of our Habs games both on YouTube and on ColorCast. So you can watch the game while being tuned in on ColorCast instead of looking at not that my face is ugly to look at, but I think it's a pretty face. But anyway, so I'll leave that up to you guys to judge there in the comment section. But I definitely plan on live casting a lot of Habs games, as Suzuki will try to split 3 Calgary Flames. Doesn't quite do it, but he almost did. Suzuki forces a turnover at the Calgary line, almost, but taken back there by the Flames as Gallagher was offside. Rasmus Anderson will set things up behind the Calgary net. Some changes being made on both sides. A long pass there for Lindholm. No icing as it was deflected in. Romanov trying to win the battle in the corner. He does, pushing it up to Dauphin. Dauphin to Gallagher. Gallagher tries finding Mike Hoffman, but out of his reach. And now back the other way comes Johnny Gaudreau. Johnny Gaudreau to Tkachuk. Back to Gaudreau. Gaudreau to Tkachuk behind the net. Back to Gaudreau. Gaudreau will leave it all the way to Anderson. And it ends up to Lindholm, but he gets poked there by Dauphin, or by Hoffman, rather. And now it goes back the other way to Gaudreau, but taken back by the Habs. Here comes Laurent Dauphin, who will throw it into the corner. Josh Anderson can't quite apply the pressure. And now here's Andrew Mangiapane. Taken back by the Habs. Ben Sherratt with a long pass across to Caulfield. Caulfield will throw it in behind the Calgary net. Coleman banks it off the glass back out to center. Settled down by Sherratt. Sherratt to Suzuki. I'll get to comments in the second there on YouTube. Sherratt doubles back. Yeah. So I'll explain ColorCast in a minute, guys. At the commercial break that is pending. So Hanifin to Backlund behind the net to Coleman. Coleman now behind the net to Backlund. Loses it though. And now Suzuki will flip it into center behind the Calgary net. Anderson trying to apply the forecheck, but Tanev rather, is able to escape him. He throws it across to Hanifin. Hanifin up to Lucic, backhanding it for his mate Lindholm. Or Monahan, rather. And now Toffoli gets it back at the point. Toffoli, it gets blocked. Now here's Lucic. Lucic to Kylington. Kylington, his shot gets deflected to the corner, almost deflected in. Toffoli gets it back to Kylington, back across to Tanev, or Anderson, I should say. His pass gets rimmed all the way along the boards. Now here's Toffoli at the point. Toffoli with a slap shot, stopped by Hammond. Rebound is loose, but cleared away by Pitlick, and he will dump it in off the glass all the way into the Canadiens bench. So we'll have a face off to the left of Andrew Hammond. So let's get to some of y'all's comments on YouTube here. Hoping to see more. So Randy, I will just be missing you in Toronto just because I am actually going to Florida for next week on my week off. Okay, so Randy, ColorCast. Let's talk about ColorCast. It's basically this here on YouTube, this setup, just with a it's all audio. It's all audio, no video. So you could tune in, you could comment, you could even So something that we can't really do here on YouTube, but we could do on ColorCast, you could even join in on the hot seat. So you could comment both in terms of text and you could comment in terms of join the hot seat. And there's my beautiful girlfriend, Taylor, saying that it is a pretty face. Thank you, baby. Really appreciate that. See, I won't, or you know what? You could, you're hiding behind her face. But anyway, you have a really pretty face too. But anyway, I feel that Gallagher should be traded more than Petrie, even though I love Gallagher's CH to his heart. The issue with Gallagher, though, is his contract. He is signed. Let me pull this up over here. Brendan Gallagher, cap friendly. Gallagher is signed for another 1, 2, 3, or after this year, I should say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years at $6.5 million per season. So that's going to be a very difficult contract to trade. So I think it would just be more of a win-win situation for all those involved if the Habs are, if they keep Brendan Gallagher. I'm getting red in the face, huh? I was red in the face with my other camera. I don't know. Maybe it's just because maybe I'm working on a good schwitz from calling this game. I don't know, Randy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just red in the face. Hopefully I'll be a little bit darker by the time I come back from Florida. But yeah. Either way, we look at Ben Sherratt's playing over 23 minutes, 2 blocked shots and the goal, the game-time goal so far. Face-off is won there by the Canadians. They do get out to center, and here comes Laurent Dauphin with perhaps a 2-on-1 with Gallagher. Dauphin, he gets slowed up, though. Can't get a shot off. Finally feeds Hoffman. His shot, he scores! Mike Hoffman gives the Montreal Canadiens the lead 4-3. Mike Hoffman. Woo! These Habs just don't quit. They just don't quit, and that's why I'm getting red in the face. Because I'm really excited to watch these Montreal Canadiens. Man, Mike Hoffman just... What a pass there also by Laurent Dauphin. And Mike Hoffman puts the Habs back up in front 4-3. 2:45 to go here in the third period. Let's see if the Habs can hold on. What a shot to the low stick side by Mike Hoffman. And the Habs, you know what? I won't say anything. Just 2:45 to go here in the third period. The Habs will look to hold this one on. Jacob Markstrom will be skating to the Calgary bench unless the Flames obviously tie it up in the next 30 seconds. There's a quick shot on net there by Coleman. Deflects up in the air. Caulfield will pass it to Anderson, who will have some space. Anderson drops it back to Suzuki, but Tanev was there to intercept that and break that up. Almost a nice looking chance there for the Habs. Now Tanev goes back the other way to Backlund. Backlund with a shot that deflects over the net. And a shot gets tipped down by Caulfield. Caulfield goes back the other way. Caulfield will shoot. That gets deflected off of the stick of Kylington. So here's Tanev now. As the Flames will go for some changes. Let's see. Paling there on the forecheck. Paling getting some late ice time here. And now, yeah, the Flames are just trying to get organized so they could pull Markstrom out of their net here. Here's Milan Lucic as Markstrom finally goes to the net. Monahan loses it, though. And here's Gallagher with a chance at the empty net. He will shoot, and he will just miss the net to the left side. And it will be icing as he did not quite cross the center line. Ooh, so I have to get to some comments here. Trade to Bergevin in LA again. Look, that's what it is. It's a $6.5 million contract, so it's just a bad contract there for Gallagher. It is what it is. Didn't I predict a year ago and a half ago that Hoffman would sign Montreal, Sheldon? You were absolutely right that he would, and he did. I'll get to some of your comments after the game or at the end of the third here, at least, as there's a minute 20 to go here. The Flames do win the faceoff after a couple of whacks and hacks. Hannafin with a shot gets through. Hammond made the save. Play continues. Puck goes to the point there. That's Anderson. Anderson to Gaudreau. To Tkachuk. Tkachuk rims it around to Hannafin, who jumps from his defensive position. But Gallagher is able to get it all the way down the ice, but it does go for icing, so there will be another face off in the Habs zone. Need Arizona to win indeed. What's the score? It is 2-1 at the end. I think Arizona has in fact beaten the Colorado Avalanche to solidify or to allow the Habs to now win and keep, or at least I should say, keep the second to last position in the NHL and the second highest odds of landing the first overall pick. Yes, Taylor is a Leafs fan, but she is a wonderful Leafs fan because she is my girlfriend and she is awesome. 40 seconds to go here. Down low. Fan on the shot. Tkachuk. Puck is loose, but Gallagher chips it out. Cleared, but not out. Anderson to Tkachuk. Or Gaudreau, rather, to down low to Tkachuk, but Hammond holds the short side of the post there, and Petrie is able to get it out at least to Anderson, who keeps the line. His shot deflected, and Lindholm scores. They tie it up. Rasmus Anderson did a great job holding the zone, but it is Elias Lindholm who ties it up for Calgary with 27 seconds remaining. Get to some of more of your comments here. Sorry, not the time to win. Don't need to tank, but no. So if the Canadians, if they go to overtime, I think they will be tied for the same amount of points with Arizona with a game in hand. How about Hoffman as trade bait? Need roster spot for Shane Wright, but Hoffman's not really taking his roster spot. I would look for a very steep price for Hoffman. Yeah. Oh no, from our ColorCast comment here. So we're 27 seconds away from likely overtime here between the Flames and the Habs, but this has been a fun hockey game. It was a bit of a snooze fest in the second, but this has definitely been an eventful third period as Elias Lindholm tied it up for the Flames. Hammond out to play it behind his net. Kulak now will chip it out to center, looking for Anderson. Anderson can't quite get to it. It's taken back by the Flames. Here's Tanev chipping it out of the reach of Tkachuk. Sherratt will backhand it, and that will do it for regulation. It is tied at 4-4 here, as I have to edit my banner here. Here. As the end of regulation, we're going to overtime, so stick with us. We will definitely go all the way to overtime here on ColorCast and on YouTube. Overtime. 1 second. Habs 4 and 4. Save and show. There we go. So I'm going to get to some of y'all's comments here. Sorry, not the time to win. Don't need to tank, but no KK drafted third overall. No, we don't want another. Although I think maybe Kotkaniemi could have become the right player, but he just was not given the chance to develop into the right player. If Hughes could find the right return for Hoffman, he'll do it. I agree. He did that for Toffoli. He doesn't care that Bergevin signed Hoffman to a 4-year deal or 3-year deal at $4.5 million per season. So if Hoffman can be had for a first round pick, I think that we're going to see by how much Kent Hughes sells at this deadline. Like if Petrie's gone, if Hoffman's gone, then I think that means that the Habs are fully embracing the full on we're rebuilding and we don't care mentality. So, maybe they should bring back Dominique Ducharme just to try to get Connor Bedard next year. But anyway, you can see the Habs are 1-7 in overtime and 2-0, interestingly enough, in a shootout this year. Flames are 2-6 in overtime, 2-0 in shootouts. So we got some 3-on-3 overtime here, guys. Really excited. Honestly, look, it's late and I have to get up early tomorrow, but I don't care. I'm excited for some OT because this has been an exciting hockey game. So I am definitely looking forward to this overtime. Lindholm was just, again, left wide open on the doorstep on that game-tying goal. But again, credit the Habs for just giving the Flames, one of the best teams in the West, just, again, a run for their money. So here's Petrie to Caulfield to Suzuki. Who do you think is going to score the OT winner on either side? Let us know in the comment section on ColorCast and on YouTube. Suzuki will skate through center. Suzuki delays. Drops it off for Caulfield. Caulfield on his backhand. Will drop it off for Suzuki. Suzuki to Petrie. Petrie to Caulfield. Caulfield will delay and take it back to center. To Suzuki. Suzuki to Caulfield with a little bit of room. Caulfield delays. Shoots. Markstrom makes a save and will take the whistle. He was thinking about playing it off to Elias Lindholm, but he just took the whistle. There's the Welcome in Potato number 1 to the ColorCast stream here. Gets your comments. Okay, so I'm a little bit behind you guys, so keep that in mind. So I can't read too many of your comments. Caulfield or Toffoli. I like those options. Goodrow or Coleman. Not even team playing, but this game is getting interesting. Yes, Tay, baby. It is very interesting, and thank you for tuning in, of course, baby. So Suzuki trying to apply the forecheck there on Rasmus Andersson. He gets away from it, though. Here comes Rasmus Andersson to lead the rush through center. Drops it off for Backlund. Backlund gets hit by Sherratt. Taken back, though, by... That's Hoffman. And now it's 2-on-1 here with Pitlick and Sherratt joining. Pitlick to Sherratt. He scores! Ben Sherratt gives the Montreal Canadiens the overtime victory 5-4 with his second goal of the game, his 7th on the year. And the Montreal Canadiens sweep the Calgary Flames, one of the worst teams in the NHL, beating one of the best teams in the NHL twice. After struggling against them all year, the Habs salvage a victory in Calgary. Whew, hallelujah indeed on ColorCast. Now let's get to your comments. But Ben Sherratt getting the time in overtime. Tyler Toffoli, just again playing defense as a forward, could not cut off that pass from Rem Pitlick, who I think has earned himself a roster spot on this team next year. And Ben Sherratt boosting his trade value and finishing it to give the Habs the 5-4 win. What's it called? Just looking at the tussle here in the comment section. I will tell Mike to convince you to come to the dark side and join the Habs. Come on, Randy, we're not the dark side. The Leafs are the dark side. Come on. But Taylor cheers for my happiness for his team, but would never cheer for his team as they are not the Leafs, of course. Let's welcome Taylor to the... I think we can all agree that y'all in the comment section are part of the Lanker at the Mike fandom, and we can all agree on that. And I really appreciate that. And I am a huge fan of you guys tuning in as well. I think that's, I'm going to add, blah, blah, blah. I'm just, see, I'm like, I have no words for your, for how awesome you guys have been in terms of tuning in, especially here in the third period. Habs started bad in OT, then hit it when Cole Caulfield and Eric Stahl scored some goals last year. Although they weren't very good this year either. They were 2-7 going into this game. And thanks, babe, on the for the congratulations there. I think I'm going to wrap this up again. I do have an early morning, and I have actually some reporting work to do. So I'm going to wrap this up here. Give Sherratt a solid $8 million for 8 years. I wouldn't do that there, Sheldon, but you could do that as you wish. I'm going to wrap this up here. I am starving. I am tired. I still have some work to do. We have some more people tuning in here on ColorCast. We got CG Warriors 51. Interesting. Welcome in, CG Warriors 51. We just finished hit over 1,000 likes on ColorCast. But guys, I do have to wrap this up. Thank you so much for our YouTube audience, our ColorCast audience for tuning in. This has been a Langer at the Mike Langer production, both on YouTube and ColorCast. The Habs win 5-4, and stay tuned to more Habs casts and live streams, both on ColorCast and YouTube in the future. Thank you so much for joining in, and I look forward to you guys joining in next time.